Eagles. Eagles.
An absolute thriller ends in Eagles defeat. The Commanders win 36-33 and end the Eagles' double-digit 10-game win streak. And the Eagles are now 12-3 on the season, and the Commanders moved to 10-5, their first 10-win season since 2012. An insane game. Big Sills. Jalen Hurts leaves the game in the first quarter with a concussion. 5 turnovers for the Eagles defense, and they lose in the last couple seconds there with a big Jayden Daniels touchdown. He had 5 touchdown passes in the game today. Big Sills, what do you make of what you just saw?
You know, I thought the Eagles really played with a lot of grit in that football game, and I thought really they did a really great job defensively, holding it down as much as they possibly could. Let's be candid here. A lot of the there were drops in this game too, believe it or not, by AJ and Devontae in this game. You know, obviously when you are bringing in a backup quarterback, you're going to get inconsistent play, and that's kind of what you got there. But, you know, I thought, without a doubt, in my opinion, outside of that gigantic run that Barkley had, I thought they did a pretty good job, you know, against Saquon Barkley in the second half. He was really a non-factor.
You think any of that comes down to Jalen being out? I mean, look, when Jalen's in that run game, right, he's so much harder to cover because he's dynamic. You put a Kenny Flick at that.
And I will give you the point on this one, too. Because of all the 3 and outs that you have in there with the quarterback, that gives the opportunity to, no matter how many turnovers you have, you're going to get an opportunity to get your chances to get back into this football game. And because of Hurts' injury, there's no question they kept them back and they kept them in the football game. I will say this, there is no doubt that Jayden Daniels got the better of Vic Fangio the second time around. This guy's got over 335 yards of total offense and 5 touchdowns, ran for 90 yards, and had 260 yards in passing. I mean, this guy mightily improved in this. And by the way, who would have ever thought Olamide Zaccheaus, that kid, absolutely was an upgrade over Jahan Dotson. Was Dotson even in the game? Did he dress? Was he even active in this game? Holy cow. I mean, I can't think of how many passes that guy had going into this game. Terry McLaurin, once again, I think Q did a nice job on him. You know, there were some catches in the ball game, but you know what it came down to, Zander? It came down to the second wide receiver and the third wide receiver, and the fact that Hurts was out, giving the opportunity for those 3 and outs. There were too many 3 and outs.
Yeah.
Hurts is in that ball game. Here, let's do this. If Hurts is in that ball game, I don't have to concern myself that Kenny Pickett's going to take off running. I have to, as a defensive coordinator, I have to have a spy on that guy. And once that guy left the ball game, Kenny Pickett didn't worry me.
No, he didn't at all. Clearly not. And it's one of those
by the way, though, you got to say this. I think he played great for a backup. What'd you expect him to do? Go out there and look like Patrick Mahomes?
Right.
Or Jalen Hurts? This is what backups do, Zander. You know, I mean, he played as well as he could.
Yeah, no, he didn't. I mean, listen, not the best game. You have 5 turnovers on the Eagles defense. It's one of those games, so it's hard to judge right in the aftermath. I'm gonna have to rewatch this because I watch and I'm like, well, you're right. Jayden Daniels got the better of Vic Fangio today with 5 touchdown passes, but we also had 5 takeaways. Like, I can't say the defense played terrible, but I think you're right. So many 3 and outs with no Jalen Hurts in there. There was a lot more offensive opportunities for both teams in this football game. And ultimately, the Commanders get the win at the end. How about that Devontae Smith drop, by the way? I didn't want to crush him for it, but now you let the Commanders go down and score. So obviously, it's going to be highlighted, and you could have had another win there if you just catch that football right in the hands, wide open. Tough to see that from a guy who's so sure-handed like Devontae Smith.
Absolutely. And, you know, Zander, you look at the numbers here. And by the way, does Jalen Hurts affect the Commander numbers? Yeah. Because you kept giving them more opportunities in the second half to give them those chances at those sequences. They did have 370 yards of total offense, 368 to be exact. I mean, there was only 14, 13 drives between both teams. But here's the difference, too. They picked up their third down efficiency, and here's where Pickett really hurt them. They were 3 for 16. You know, I'll tell you something, too. I thought Hurts was getting out of the gate a little slow in the passing game as well, too, because I believe he was 1 for 4.
Yeah, 1 for 4, yep.
In the passing game. So It was 3 for 16, and really, you can't make any assessment on the Eagle passing game or the Eagle offense. They did run the ball. Dude, they ran the ball for – this shows you, Zander, if this does not show you how important it is to have a passing game, you ran the ball for 211 yards in this football game and lost. That's unheard of.
With 5 takeaways.
You had 200 yards in rushing and 5 takeaways, and you got beat. That shows you the importance of the passing game, and absolutely, too, it shows you the importance of having your starting quarterback in the game.
No doubt about it. And that Saquon Barkley game means we will give away a Saquon Barkley jersey this week. So get your memberships in on the channel, everybody. Looking forward to doing that. I will say, and I want to preface this by saying, I like what Big Sil said in the open about this is a gritty performance from this team. I know you lost the game, but you're playing without your quarterback one. You know, like you can't expect it all to look the same. I thought the team battled hard. Now, I'll preface what I said with that, okay? Good gritty performance. You lost the game, which sucks. Boy, were we undisciplined today. Boy, did we miss some tackles in the open field today. And boy, did that end up you know what I kept thinking of, Sills, today when I watched some of those penalties and I watched CJ Gardner-Johnson get thrown out of the game because he couldn't shut his mouth. And which ultimately cost it. I thought of Clint Hurt last week getting in the face of Nick Sirianni and saying, don't discipline my guy. You got to let the head coach discipline. And now I got a bunch of guys on defense running undisciplined. Like I said, I prefaced it by saying, I'm not mad. I thought it was a gritty performance when you're playing with your backup, but good night. The lack of discipline today was astounding.
All over the front seven, too, as well. I mean, everywhere across the board, the undiscipline in the pass catching by the receivers. I mean, again, you're there to help your backup quarterback. And like you said, man, there was Jalen Carter again. I mean, week 2 in a row on having a critical mistake in that football game. And like you said, I really thought that would have been addressed by now, but we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here. And that was, how many penalties did they have in that football game? And by the way, it just seemed that every penalty that they had in that game came down to a critical mistake that was in that ball game. They had 10 penalties for almost 100 yards, 91 yards. Dude, that's insane. I cannot believe, get this. So you get 5 turnovers. You play undisciplined ball. You rush the ball for 200 yards. Hey, by the way, I mean, 338 yards in total offense. You had 71 plays, and you were 3 of 16 on third down. I got to tell you, man, a very sloppy football game. And when Hurts went out in that game, boy, I'll tell you what, Zander, it pretty much wobbled that team. I thought the defense, like you said, the defense for me, 5 takeaways, but you gave up 340 yards in total offense.
I know. But a lot of that was because the Commanders had so many opportunities with you talked about it with the 3 and outs for the Eagles. I mean, there was a lot more offensive opportunities in this game. I don't know what the total play amount.
That Calcaterra mistake was absolutely unbelievably awful block that he had on that strip sack too, man. I mean, dude,
he is such a liability in the blocking game.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. It's tough to watch. It is tough to watch with him and block. All right. A couple things I want to run down in this game. First, I want to get your take on Jalen Hurts. He goes down early in that game. What do you think right now? Like, where's your head on Jalen Hurts? I know we don't know a lot about the injury at this point, but he missed this game. Concussion protocol is a tough thing to get through in the NFL. This is no longer just you can be gutsy and play through an injury, right? You got to deal with the NFL now and the concussion protocol. What are your thoughts right now on Jalen Hurts and where we are with him? He left the game in the first quarter.
For them not to put him back in, okay, I thought that they were going to put him back in. Now, again, I don't know what the significance and how long a length, because I don't know what the severity is of it. But let's just say this right now. Without a doubt, home field advantage is lost. The Lions won. They're now 13-2 on the season. Yeah. And that's lost. You're going to be in the 2-hole no matter what, because Minnesota and the Detroit Lions now have the advantage. And that game, at the last game of the year, is going to come down to who has home field advantage. I mean, home field has been lost because that's how important this game was. Zander, this game was important because you lose now, and you pretty much, the chances of you winning home field, in my opinion, is out.
It's basically done. You're right. It's basically done at this point. And I haven't looked yet at what this does for the playoff picture. Could this potentially bump Washington up to the 6th seed?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, because right now I'm thinking if you get 2, all right, the first game you're going to play Washington if they sneak in at that 7th seed, but the Packers are also 10-4. And I don't know what their game schedule is today. But I guess when they play, we'll find more about it. The Commanders are now 10-5, obviously. So it's going to be interesting to see how the seeding works out. Next guy.
By the way, Geno Smith is playing in that Seattle game.
Yeah, he is.
So keep an eyeball on that thing there too, because if Minnesota loses, Zander, that keeps them back in the mix here. You've got to hope, in my opinion, for Minnesota to lose today to Seattle in Seattle, and that very may well can happen.
Sills, if Jalen Hurts finishes this game, I think we blow this team out. What say you?
I think they win. And I think those drives what you did with Hurts being out, you can't get around it. There's no question about it. Jayden Daniels played better because Hurts was out. Why? Because he could make up for his mistakes with those INTs by getting multiple series. When you have 3 and outs like that, Zander, you could throw 3 picks in a game.
I know.
But if you throw 3 picks and the other quarterback has 3 and outs, I'm still going to get a shot to make up those 3 picks. So Hurts being out, listen, I'd say, like I said, I picked it to be like a 28-20 game, something in that room. There's no question. By the way, the defense, Dan Quinn went like this. Second half, they shut down Barkley in the second half of that football game, man. I mean, outside of that large run. Yeah. So there's no question. Jalen not being in that game, it played into Jayden Daniels playing well, which he played exceptional, even with some of the mistakes he made in that game. I mean, quite frankly, they had no running game. It was him. He was the entire offense for that football team. I mean, but they gave him a chance. There's no question. The Eagles have Hurts in that game. There's no way you're not defending Jalen Hurts against the run. How many yards did Hurts have before?
He had already 41 rushing yards in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows you right there. He had 30. Yeah. Jalen probably would have had near 90 to 100 yards rushing today in this football game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's talk about Kenny Pickett, Sills. What'd you see from him? I know. Look, I thought you said it really well in the open. For anybody saying Kenny Pickett stink, I mean, he's a backup quarterback, right? Why we shouldn't expect him to look like Jalen Hurts, but analyzing what you saw from him.
And he kept him in the game. Here, this is what I want my backup quarterback to do. Hey, is my backup quarterback going to be as good as Jalen Hurts? It's why he's a backup quarterback. He's a backup quarterback, and why he was cut in Pittsburgh is because they don't believe that he can win consistently. Yeah. At the end of the day, though, they kept you around the rim with a 10-win football team.
Yeah,
I mean, kept you in the game. And by the way, that last drive was not anything on him. Okay, there were drops by AJ and Devontae in that. So that was not on him. They kept him. And by the way, he did lead them to a field goal, which took the lead in that.
To be fair, I thought his last 2 drives were his best 2 drives.
Yes.
But here was my issue today. And I get it. I already said, I know he's not going to be Jalen Hurts. He's not as good. He's a backup quarterback.
Correct.
But it felt like we couldn't do shit unless the defense got one of those turnovers. Every time we had one of those, we had more of a chance. Though. I know. That's but I don't think Kenny Pickett moved the ball. I mean, your defense gets 5 turnovers and you have 140 passing yards in 3 quarters.
If you were expecting Jalen Hurts, you were going to be sadly disappointed. I mean, I don't know what you were expecting him to do. To be Michael Vick? I think Philadelphia Eagle fans I think you guys are a little bit jaded. You know why? Because of Nick Foles. I think you guys think somebody's just going to walk in there, right, and throw for 357 yards and be the same kind of guy. If there's one franchise with the backup quarterback that is the most spoiled, it's got to be Eagle fans.
It might be. And listen, can you blame us? We won a damn Super Bowl with one. We got a statue of one in the city. So I'm not mad about it.
Absolutely not.
No, absolutely. What'd you make of CJ Gardner-Johnson, by the way? Look, that's part of the undisciplined. I know somebody was saying, it's trash talk. It doesn't matter. I don't care what it is. You can't put yourself in a position to be thrown out of a football game because your presence on the field is far more important than anything that you got to say out of your mouth. I thought that, listen, I know there was a video floating around of CJ getting his helmet blown off. I didn't see everything. Just asking your opinion on what you saw from CJ Gardner-Johnson. He was thrown out of the game with a I guess an unsportsmanlike conduct.
love shit talkers. I am from the school that invented shit talking. I love it. However, there's a place and a time for it.
Yeah.
Okay? When your starting quarterback goes out, don't you think your unit needs more discipline? I mean, I'll tell you what, the coaches on the sideline could have been more in control of this and saying to everybody, hey, look here, man. We are missing a guy. We're missing one of our main guys here. We've got to play the most disciplined football that you could possibly play. Okay? I mean, Zander, again, I mean, yeah, Carter, CJ, there were a bunch of like really stupid plays that kept drives alive. Look, again, I thought some of the refereeing in this game too. Not to go down the line here, but
I know.
Man, I'll tell you something here. I don't know what they have against you guys in New York City.
I think it honestly
it's a New York Philly thing, bro. But I'll tell you, I saw some questionable calls again by the NFL officials, and I'm not that guy.
I
but
know.
I'll tell you, man.
Can I also say though, Eagle fans might not.
Here.
I think there were some bad calls both ways though. Listen, I know AJ was tormenting Marshawn Lattimore a little bit, but that one PI call, I mean, a nice vet move by AJ, but that was brutal. And then, by the way, the first one, which was PI, they blatantly missed AJ tugging on his chest protector like that.
That's the one I'm talking about. That was a pro move. But one of my comments, if you guys remember, what was the conditioning going to be like of Marshawn Lattimore? Now that you hear that it's also a groin, that he went into the tent and he couldn't stay with him later in the game. I think that shows you right there, Zander. He wasn't really in tip-top shape to stick with a guy like that because, in my opinion, I mean, he was struggling out there to stay in line with A.J. Brown out there. I mean, he really was. Early, I thought he did a great job on him.
How good
but,
is
I mean,
A.J.
as
Brown,
the game went on, man, I
how
thought
good is A.J. Brown? Listen, Marshawn, I know we're going to chirp him because he's now a division rival here in Philly, and Marshawn Lattimore is a damn good player. A.J. Brown makes everybody look like they're not that good.
Zander, now here's my point, too, also. Dual threat.
Yeah.
Dual threat. This is the chances you take when you have a quarterback that plays that style, Zander. Now, look, people are going to go, Sills, you've seen quarterbacks go down before in the pocket and have concussions. If I'm not mistaken, did Hurts get hurt on a running play?
He did. It was a quarterback draw. Yep.
Okay. So, again, when you play that style of play, remember, this is some of the collateral damage. You get Josh Allen faces this. Lamar Jackson faces this. Kyler Murray faces this. That's some of the things you take and chances you take when you have a quarterback like that that's going in. Like, again, I don't know what the grade is because now, look, next week, I mean, you got a cakewalk football game next week, in my opinion. Is Kenny Pickett good enough to win against? I don't think so. I don't think so. So, but then again, I think you're cemented into that second hole. And depending on what Minnesota, I would say this to you, Zander. If Minnesota wins, okay, and that game next week and the next two games next week don't matter. If I were Philly and this guy's pretty much floating around that concussion line, it's going to be interesting to see how the organization plays this out because I want that guy completely healthy. And if it doesn't affect me coming out of that two-hole, okay, because look, Minnesota or Detroit, Zander, you can have a great record, right? Yeah. But you're still going to be in the 5 seed because you're a wild card in the North.
Right.
No matter what. And there's no team behind Minnesota and Detroit that could jump up and catch you in the two-hole. I'm going to be very interested to see how Philadelphia handles this if Minnesota wins this ball game tonight.
So here's a contrarian take on this. In a way, is that a silver lining? Because does it take a pressure of the last two games that you had coming into today? Does it take that pressure, remove it, and put this team on, you're ready for the playoffs now? I hear what you're saying, but think about it. Now you're going to the next week and you're like, we don't have to win. Let's get healthy. Let's be healthy for the playoffs. Does it take that pressure and throw it out the window?
That, when you're talking injuries, yes. But here's me, man. I don't give a shit what it is, man. If it's hopscotch, if it's jacks, if it's darts, I don't like losing anything, man. I'm not a guy that goes, hey, I'll take a L here because I don't, maybe that's a silver lining here because you'd have to win all these games out to win. You know what, dog? Hey, I'm not surrendering anything, dude.
Yeah.
But health-wise, I think you got to keep an eye on what happens in this Minnesota game.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching right now on the JAKIB Postgame Show. Big crowd in here. We appreciate each and every one. You got a tough loss today for the Philadelphia Eagles. 36-33 final. Ends on a last-second touchdown pass from Jayden Daniels, his 5th touchdown pass of the day. Eagles defense created 5 turnovers, but ultimately wasn't enough to overcome the loss of Jalen Hurts.
Have you ever seen anything like this, Zander? 5 touchdown passes from a guy and 5 turnovers.
I know.
I don't know what to say. Did you play well? I can't tell.
I can't tell either, man. And by the way, I don't know what was I'm a big fan of Joe Davis, and I'm a big fan of Greg Olson. They kept saying, like, they were acting like we didn't lose the quarterback. They're like, I can't believe the Washington has the lead. I'm like, hello, the elephant's right in the room, and you guys are looking right by it, man.
You know, some of these guys, they try to oversell it, and they're trying to overcook it. They don't want you to turn away from it. And that's – hey, by the way, all supers will be read, you guys.
Yeah, we're going to read – I'm going to read a couple in a second.
By the way, Zander, it was a gutty performance, man. I mean, you lose your number 1 starting quarter. Dude, can you tell me what would happen to Detroit if Detroit lost their starting quarterback and had to put that kid from Tennessee in?
Right.
Okay? I mean, come on. If you had to put Carson Wentz in Kansas City, you know what I'm saying? I mean, dude, I don't know how anybody doesn't look at that and go like this. There's no doubt Daniels played well and better because Hurts wasn't able to do one of the most important things. What was that? Sustain drives. Do you know the difference between a starting quarterback and a backup quarterback is exactly that, Zander? Jalen is going to keep more sustained drives going, which gives you and limited you on opportunities and series, whereas Pickett gave you more opportunities to make up for your mistakes.
Absolutely. We're going to read a couple super chats now from our great people. Don't forget to hit that like button, as I mentioned. And one thing I want to remind you guys while you're listening today, here on JAKIB Sports, we are in the Christmas spirit. We are doing tons of giveaways for our great viewers. And a silver lining of today's loss is Saquon Barkley eclipsed well over the 125-yard mark. So I will give away a Saquon Barkley jersey this week. And then
didn't I say 140? What do you have?
Yeah, I think he had 140 play. I think he had a couple in the passing game too. So we're well over the mark. And I just want to say, if you want to become a new member, I put the link in the chat today. So consider becoming a member. It's $5. I got 3 Quinyon Mitchell jerseys. I got Diana jackets. I got Eagles starter coats. We're giving it all away to the great people on JAKIB Sports who support this channel. So appreciate each and every one of you for being here, for watching the show, for engaging all year long. It's been a lot of fun, and we appreciate you. Let's get to a couple super chats here. Jason A-Team checks in. Appreciate you, Jason. I knew when we scored first and started hot, we were going to lose this game. Why did the refs take Jalen out? Team didn't, and he was going back in, but the refs stopped him. Something isn't right. Sketchy. A-Team, I'm not sure. I think that might have been them protecting the player, man. Jalen had a glaze in his eyes. He didn't look the same after that hit. I don't think the refs were trying to keep him out. I think they were trying to protect the player.
Did I buy that they were doing anything, the Eagles or anything. If that kid could have played, they'd have played his ass. There's not a chance in hell because, dude, they're trying to win home field. I'm not saving anything here.
Yeah, thank you. A-Team. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Good stuff. Terry Hayes checks in. Terry says, y'all can shit on Jalen Hurts all you want. I think we win if he doesn't go out. I would say for sure, Terry. I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid. Too many drop balls and dumb penalties. Unfortunately, we won't have him till probably the postseason. That looks like it could be a reality.
Boy,
maybe week 18.
May I'll tell you this, man. If that's the case, that you're talking about him not being out there till the postseason. I mean, wow. I mean, because look, you're not getting the bye. All likely, you're not getting it. So you're going to first. His next game is going to be the wild card game, most likely against the same Commander team.
Yeah,
is that right?
It could be. That's what.
Or potentially Green Bay.
Potentially Green Bay, right? That would be the other person that's in that 10-win mark. We'll see, and they have a couple tough games to close out the year. So Commanders, Green Bay, that's a tough first-round opponent. And if Jalen's not able to get on the field before that could be something to keep an eye on. Absolutely. Christopher Darker checks in. He says, the moment they threw CJ out of the game, they torched us. I've never scratched my head more playing a game. Smitty never drops that ball. They sold out for Barkley once Hurts went out. That last sentence is certainly true. And, Christopher, I'm watching that game. I kept saying, I kept saying, this is the weirdest football game I've ever watched.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a weird game, man. It had a lot of weird characteristics.
I was shocked that they did a really good job on Saquon Barkley in the second half. I mean, he had that gigantic run, Zander, in the ball game. What was that run for? Was
68 yards, the touchdown, yeah.
68 yards, that 68-yard touchdown. Think about this, okay? If you take that 70 yards away, you're talking about in the second half or 70 yards really in the game with 2 touchdowns. I mean, they did a nice job of stopping him outside of that big, giant run. They made a priority, man. And then when Hurts went out, once again, I handed to Pickett in the offense and the guys in the gritty performance by hanging in there. Did I think when Hurts – how about this? I'll give you this. Did I think the Eagles were going to win this game when Hurts went out? No. I did not.
See, I thought we had a chance because it was 21 to 7. Well, it wasn't 21-7 yet, but the Eagles had a lead. Then Kenny got in. To his credit, he started real good. Got the ball to A.J. Brown a couple times, 3 straight times, and got the touchdown. And then Saquon took it to the house. And I'm like, okay, if the defense can do what they got to do today, I think we should be able to hold on to the win. Ultimately, obviously, it didn't play out.
Hurts's ability to run the ball was missing in that game. And his ability to make some throws on third down, that slant pass, clearly was an issue in that football game. There's no doubt that the football team and the offense missed Jalen Hurts in that game. I mean,
let me ask you a personal question because I know a lot of people are great viewers here, are big watchers of the National Football Show, 2 to 6 Eastern every single weekday, which is one of the best shows on YouTube, maybe the best show on YouTube. Did this game, in your opinion, did it alter your opinion and how important Jalen Hurts is to this football team?
Yeah, it did. There's no question you're not winning dick if that guy's not in there.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if you can't beat an upstart 10-win team, and I think Washington, what did we say? Washington's got some pieces, and they showed those pieces today, and they were enough to win. Here's my issue. Here's why I say that. The number one statistic that's on the board and on the team stats, they ran for 200 yards, dude. I'm sorry. If you run for 200 yards and you lose, there's a missing component. Either your quarterback sucks, he's not moving the chains, he's turning the ball over on third downs. That's exactly what happened in that game. Now look, could Pickett be better in the next one? Do I think he's an upgrade from Gardner Minshew? I do. Do I think he's an upgrade from Marcus Mariota? I do. I think he does. I think he is. I think he came right out there through that touchdown pass right at the beginning of the game. Is he good enough to win you a significant football game? Is that guy going to give you Nick Foles? No.
No.
He's not going to give you Nick Foles. That's not Nick Foles because you know why? Because remember what you and you always say about Nick. There was a Pro Bowler before. Kenny Pickett has been a garbage bowler before. He's never been great. Foles has been great. He's had a great year. We've seen the guy, one of the most complex careers of all time. You're like, because you do this about Foles. Is he good? I can't tell. I look at Pickett and I go, that guy's very average.
Yeah, I think the way you put it too is right though. Your defense gets you 5 turnovers. You have a big 68-yard run from Saquon Barkley and 200 plus on the ground, and you don't win the game. Something is missing on that football team, and most of the time it's the quarterback.
I'll tell you this, man. Elliott's kicks were a plus in this thing here, man. I felt
he missed that one at the end of the half, but overall he did hit the 50-yarder.
I feel pretty good about him. I think he's starting to turn it around. Like you're seeing that kid Justin Tucker turn it around in Baltimore a little bit.
He's kicking with a little more confidence, it looks like. Yeah, a little bit more oomph in the leg, which is good. Kevin Landon becomes a new member. Kevin, appreciate you, man.
Kevin.
You're officially entered in. You, Kevin, and a couple of our other new members. Zinman becomes a member. Kevin Landon becomes a member. And Weapon X becomes a member. You guys are officially entered in to JAKIB Christmas. Now, there's one more thing you have to do, guys. You got to stay tuned all week because you don't know when Zander Claus is going to be giving out a jersey or a hat or a jacket or whatever it is. We got the beautiful Jerome Brown jersey, by the way. I got my computer right in front of me. And right behind it is the Jerome Brown jersey hanging up on the wall. And we're going to give that sucker away on the National Football Show.
That's awesome.
So looking forward to doing that. Brian Pumper checks in. He says, it was a weird game, Zander, but that might be us feeling the Jayden Daniels aura. He's a magic man, and we just got a preview. I mean, he had a good game. He still had 2 picks, but 5 touchdown passes for the guy. Hell of a game by Jayden.
And he had 335 yards in total offense in this game, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, the guy being 258, 5 touchdowns, and I mean, he took a sack in the ball game. I thought he escaped, and I thought he made some great plays on 4th down, and he also had 9 carries for 81 yards. I mean, Robinson put the ball on the ground twice. I mean, I think probably Cliff went away from him, and it was really the Jayden Daniels show, man. And by the way, this kid, the kid Olamide, who played in Philadelphia, had 5 catches for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. Zander, you want to hear something psychotic?
He destroyed us today.
How about this? This guy had 30 catches going into the freaking game, and he had 5 catches in the ball game. And he absolutely, I'll tell you this, I'd love to have him on the Eagles in the 3-hole. Oh, wait, you did.
Yeah, I don't know why they let him walk. And now you have Jahan Dotson, which you sent a 3rd rounder for, and he's done absolutely nothing.
No, what just Washington? Did they not upgrade with the Eagle guy you let loose?
Yeah.
They upgraded. The Eagles downgraded, and you gave him a 3rd.
Yeah, we swapped. They got rid of Dotson, who was their number 2. And we
gave him a 3rd, which is crazy.
Yeah, Dirty Air checks in. Dirty Air says, offense couldn't stay on the field, gassed our defense. Pretty clear now Jalen is extremely important to our team. I agree 100%. I think that's the very clear takeaway. So let me ask you this.
For a second, I just got somebody who wears a hat just kind of like you saying the number 1 defense just got thrashed. Hey, I mean, somebody who wears a hat like you just text me. I'm not going to say any names or anything. But
the only person I know who wears a hat like this is the great Joe Krause, my father.
I'm just saying the great number 1 defense just got. Hey, Big Joe.
I'm calling. You know what? I'll say this to you and Big Joe right now. I'm calling bullshit. Your defense has 5 takeaways today. Wait a second. They need a takeaway at the end of the game, and what happens? You come up with the takeaway in the last 3 minutes of the ball game. And we can't get a 1st down because of Kenny Pickett, and we got to give him the ball. We killed 50 seconds.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hey, Big Joe. They did get 5 turnovers, but they gave up 5 touchdowns to the kid. You gave up 5 teams. So wait a minute. Did they play well or did they not? Did they play well or did they play awful? What is it? Which one is it? I'm with you. Wait a minute. This is like, I don't know. Wait a minute. I can't believe I'm walking down the line here on a fence and on a tightrope here. Did they play well?
I don't know. This is what I'm going to have to defer to you and ask. You tell me. Did they play well? They had 5 takeaways, but they gave up 5 touchdown passes.
I think they gave too many. I think Hurts' absence gave those Commanders the opportunity at getting the series back and making up for the mistakes. Really, Jalen Hurts being out, in my opinion, it saved the Commanders from being able to win that football game.
And Manny says, Smitty dropped the ball. Manny, you took it out of him.
Huge drop. He was wide open.
I mean, they got the takeaway. Smitty's got the rock delivered by Kenny Pickett right in the hands.
Pickett. You see my boy
short-handed wide receivers doesn't hold. I mean, that's.
And there were times in that game that offense looked like it was just humming in the passing game. It was humming.
You don't even believe that. You don't even believe that.
It was just humming. I was like, that is how you throw the ball, right? Humming. I just need some more reps, though. Kind of like Zach Bond. Need some reps. By the way,
let me ask you this, all right? And you're going to tell me.
Zach Bond was all over the fucking place
again. Yep. Nolan Smith had another good game, I thought, as well.
I thought Nakobe did. They took that sack away from him, though, but he got back there, man.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I want to ask you this, Sills, and you tell me, because you're not the Eagle fan, all right? You're the guy who tells Eagle fans when they're right and when they're wrong, whether it's true or not. You love to tell us that.
Because it's in the Big Sills vision.
It's in the truth, justice, and the Big Sills way. So let me ask, as an Eagle fan, is it fair to look at this game and perhaps feel a little bit better about the team because you watch them fight, you watch them tooth and, you scratch and claw, you gave them some adversity, you lose the game, but you're getting back your starting quarterback?
Here's what I'm going to do to you, man.
Like, I can't be mad about this loss. I really can't.
Wait a minute. Here's what I'm going to do to you. And I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to do what those idiots did. And I love Greg Olsen. He's a Hurricane. Try overselling it. Do I think that game has any impact on how good I think you are? Absolutely fucking not.
I think it makes me think that we could be even better.
Okay. Once again, passing game, we'll find out if what's his name, the Wizard of Alabama, Jalen Hurts, can go back. He started out awful in that football game. He was
well, you know where I think became evident. Well, I think this has always been evident, but even highlighted a little bit extra today is one of Jalen Hurts' best characteristics is not throwing the ball. It's moving the chains. He has unconventional ways to move the chains and keep the offense on the field, no matter what it looks like. And boy, did you miss that today. I mean, how many third downs and fourth downs even did we have today where you're like, we just couldn't move
the first series.
Yeah.
He did that in the first. Dude, there's no question. Hey, I even tweeted out, the Eagles have the best running back and quarterback in the league. I mean, there's no doubt. He's great. What a great running quarterback you have. I don't know about throwing. He threw a couple already behind. Behind guys.
What's your gut feeling? You think we'll see him next week, Jalen?
I think it depends on what happens with Minnesota. And by the way, for them not to put him back in, last week, if you remember right, Josh Allen went out. He got dinged up, right? They put his ass right back in the ball game. Was it
concussion though with Josh last week?
It was a concussion check. They went into the tent. They checked him. He went right back in. Okay, so you kept the guy. For them to keep him out, it has to be significant.
Because if you looked at it, didn't it look to you like Jalen wanted to get back? He came out of the tent, put his helmet back on, and the coach is looking. Coach is like, "Yo, dude, you're going over there. You're not going in the football game."
I thought he did a good face plant though. I thought that was a good face plant. It
looked like helmet to helmet to me.
I don't know. I thought the ground caused that.
I think the ground definitely caused the concussion, but it looked like he got hit here and then he went this side into the ground. Definitely hope Jalen Hurts is okay.
Absolutely, man. The problem that you're going to have here is that if Minnesota wins, it's over for home field. It's over. And maybe what you do is you rest his ass for this next game coming up here too, because
Vikings are tied 7-7 right now.
Keep an eye on that ball game because that's going to really dictate it. Because if they win out and they get to the last game of the year, Minnesota and Detroit, Zander, home field is going to come up between those two teams.
Absolutely. Let's get to the Super Chat.
Unless there's a somewhat tie in the room there, which is
appreciate everybody checking in, by the way, with the Super Chats. It goes a long way in helping support the channel, so we appreciate you guys. Matt NG checks in. He says, Kenny did his job. Need to catch the damn ball for your backup. O-line was seeing 8-9 men boxes. It looked like we had a hard time communicating the pressure on the run game. Well, that's what they were doing. They were stacking the box and putting one-on-one with AJ. That's why they started to go to AJ, because they were tormenting Lattimore.
Did you see them drop one safety when they were starting to drop from two safeties to one safety?
Well, McMullen got burnt.
There was like 10 guys in the box. Barkley had nowhere to go. They knew the kid couldn't beat him. Okay. And then that's how critical those drops were. AJ, I thought that play that Lattimore had late in the game that knocked that ball out of his hands towards the sidelines, and then the miss by Smitty, I thought gave them the opportunity to get back and have an opportunity to win that ball game. Hey, man, but you got to give it to Daniels, man. Let a game-winning drive.
Yeah.
But, and I tweeted this out too, Zander. I said, this is all Washington could have hoped for. Knock the quarterback out and have a last drive opportunity to beat the Eagles. Eagles still should have won that game. And they were right there to win it. They had the lead with 6 seconds left.
Yeah.
You had the lead, okay? There's no doubt. Well, what's the determining factor? Who wasn't out there? Well, it's Jalen Hurts. Yeah. If Jalen Hurts is in the ball game, you probably win by 10.
Yeah, I'm sure the people love to hear you say that, Big Cells, today.
Yeah, well, I got it. Hey, listen, I can't. Listen, as much as I like to give this guy, and I think this is the kind of shit I talk about with low windows and low ceilings because of dual threat shit. You're going to run into this just like every other dual threat quarterback in the league runs into. But at the end of the day, here you got to be candid here. What's the one thing that kept that game close? You had a backup quarterback in. Shit, let's be honest.
And also, doesn't it also show that that Saquon's MVP season, also some of that credit does deserve to go to Jalen Hurts, not directly because of play, but certainly because of the way defenses have to play him. Yeah, you can't leave Jalen Hurts alone, or else he's going to gash us. So Saquon Barkley's had so many more.
I think they both need one another. I think they both need one another there. Okay.
Yeah, I agree for that for sure.
But I can guarantee you this: if Jalen Hurts is in the football game, there's no way you're taking one safety down, dropping him down. line of scrimmage. There's not a chance in hell, man. AJ would have hit his head on the goalpost 4 times today if that was the case.
Yeah. Good stuff. Appreciate everybody checking in today. We're going to take our first commercial break. We'll talk to John McMullen live from the stadium in a little bit. Hopefully, in the next
see that passing offense clicking though.
It wasn't. Even you know it wasn't clicking.
It was like a
no, you know how you know it wasn't clicking? Because the easy storyline today for Big Sills would have been, look at that passing offense. But you can't even say it. You can't even say it. It looks so shitty.
I will say here one more time. Hey, Big Joe, I'm with you. Did the defense, did Jayden Daniels carve the Lindbergh Cheese defense up today for 350 yards of total offense? Or did they play well by getting 5 turnovers? I can't, again, I mean, the kid was a one-man machine. I mean, look at it. He was a junior Josh Allen today.
John checked in real quick. I'll read one more before we get to the break. I'll get to all super chats, by the way. Always. I never end a show on JAKIB Sports without getting to every single super chat. I'll never end a show. So all Anthony Skywalker, Brian Pumper, Anthony Wilson, NJ Fishing, I'll get to every single super chat. Spurger King, what's up, brother? I just want to get to John here. Drop $10. John says, just start Tanner, man. Washington obviously didn't respect either quarterback because they're not passers. I'm not saying Tanner's going to clutch it, but dang, he's a traditional passer. They have to at least worry. Now, I don't know about Tanner McKee. I don't know. Is it one of those things that you're just fascinated by the back?
No, I'm not starting that.
But here, I'll say this. There's a good chance Kenny Pickett plays a little bit better next week, right?
Yes.
You can prepare for that game. They weren't prepared at all to put Kenny Pickett in there.
Absolutely. That's a shitty take by that guy. And there's no doubt. And Pickett gives you more ability because he's a little bit more elusive in his wheels than you're going to get with Tanner McKee. By the way, just to be candid here, the kid ran for had a total of 339 total yards and 5 touchdowns against the Vic Fangio defense the second time around. How you doing? Best quarterback in the NFC East.
I don't know.
He is right
I don't know
there.
who to blame it on. It's hard to push back when you give up 5 touchdown passes, but I'm like, wait a second. We had 5 freaking takeaways. I mean, who am I mad at? I'm not really sure. Brian Weaver, thanks for becoming a member, man. Really cool of you. Appreciate that, brother. You're officially entered in to Zander Claus. So let's get to our commercial break. When we come back, we'll rip off a couple super chats. I'll get a couple more of your takeaways on this game. And then we'll talk to John McMullen coming up soon here from the stadium. So appreciate everybody checking in today. Hit that like button. We're only up to 165 with well over 1,000 on YouTube. Come on, let's get that to 200, 250. Eagles lose today, guys, 36-33 in a nail-biting performance. Jayden Daniels, as Sil said, 5 touchdown passes for him. Kenny Flickett, 143 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. So we'll get to our commercial break. We'll be right back in 3 minutes here on the JAKIB Postgame Show.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an Audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the JAKIB Postgame Show here on JAKIB Sports. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. Don't forget to hit that like button for us. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already, and consider becoming a member. Saquon Barkley hit the mark today, so we will give away our 8th Saquon jersey of the year, in addition to all the other things we're giving away here on JAKIB for JAKIB Christmas. Zander Krause, we're calling it. And I got a bunch of jerseys. I got a couple Quinyon Mitchells. I got a bunch of stuff to give away to the great people. So consider becoming a member today, and we will do the Saquon Barkley jersey giveaway on Monday this week because of the Christmas holiday. So stay tuned, everybody, for Birds 365 tomorrow morning, and we will do that on the show tomorrow. Big Sills, I'm after considering and thinking more about this game. Obviously, we'll get into a couple more takeaways, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you lost the game, which sucks. Obviously, we're Eagles fans. We want to win, but you fought till the end. You didn't have your starting quarterback for 3.5 quarters of the game. Your defense had 5 takeaways. Obviously, they gave up 5 touchdown passes as well, but there's some good to take from this game, and I think it gives you some adversity before the playoffs, which unforeseen stuff. Like Brian Dawkins put out a tweet, obviously Eagle legend, and he had a great takeaway on this is good prep for the playoffs, where things happen that you can't foresee, and you got to be able to adapt to them. And I thought this was as a silver lining. I thought this was a positive in this game.
That is great, but still, now the chances of you winning home field have dropped.
Yeah, they have.
Okay, I mean, I get this. I get the preparation. You're talking about the war instead of the battle,
right?
I get it. You're talking about everything in a macro instead of a micro, like I like to say. You're looking at big picture shit here with that. But still, for me, do you think what you just said supersedes the fact that you possibly lost home field advantage and the opportunity to have home field advantage in your building, and you have to go to a dome? Now, again, do I think that affects you? No, but I do think that affects Minnesota or Detroit if they have to go to Philly in mid-January, Zander, and play a football game, an NFC title game. I think that affects them. So that sounds great, but to me, in the immediate, you basically lost home field advantage today.
Yeah, which is tough without a doubt, but it's tough to expect the same results. It's tough to expect the same results though without Jalen Hurts in there. And I'll say this too. Remember, the number 2 seed is not a bad thing. Remember, you're going to have 2 playoff games at home, and Detroit, there's no guarantee they don't lose before they get to us. And if Detroit somehow got knocked out by, let's say, a Minnesota or a Green Bay, all of a sudden the NFC title game is coming through Philly. So I'm looking for silver linings, admittedly. But
okay, and again, I see that, and I understand that. And when you say, well, Sills, Hurts, hey, dude, I don't really look at injuries the way that normal people look at them, because everybody gets hurt, man. I mean, like Brian Dawkins said, that's what he meant by his comment. Yeah. He meant by this, hey, man, your quarterback sometimes is going to get knocked out of a game. Hey, shit, dude, Patrick Mahomes is walking around, wobbling around on a bad wheel too. I mean, guys are going to come in and out of the lineup now because, like John McMullen said in the pregame, Zander, this is where we are. We're week 16 here. Guys are going to be walking in and out. Hey, could you foresee what happened here? Could you foresee ever what happened to Jalen Hurts? No, but you have to prepare for that.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Now, Does this put more of a light on what you're saying? And I'm assuming, I'm not talking for you, but are you assuming this puts more light on more of the little things that we may have to look at? Because I'll tell you one thing I just wrote down. Hey, Nick, you're going to have a fucking conversation about some better discipline on your football team, because in my opinion, those conversations have to be addressed again, because you were exceptionally indisciplined in this football game. There were numerous examples of that on both sides of the football, that there was a lack of discipline in this game.
I think that might be my biggest takeaway from the negative standpoint on this game is you were an undisciplined football team today, which is poorly coached. That's what that means. Undisciplined is another word for poorly coached. Well-coached teams are not undisciplined, and they were very undisciplined today. They missed a lot of tackles today. I mean, there was a lot of stuff there, and like I said, that's probably my biggest negative takeaway on this game.
Somebody just wants to give the participation medal away. The guy who wears the Roo hat, for giving them kudos for but sorry, Big Joe. I think I think they hung in there, man, losing their dude. I mean,
they absolutely hung in there. And by the way, I said it already. You take the bubble of the pressure off the next two games. You take the bubble of the pressure. So if we went into the playoffs with a 13-game winning streak, are you going to sit here and tell me that wouldn't have added another layer of pressure in the playoffs? Now you got that cat is off your back now.
So let me be a Zander Krause and an Eagle guy for a minute.
Okay.
I think it's great that fucking that the backup quarterback got reps in a critical game. I may need him in the wait. Well, this is what Brian Dawkins was talking about. Jalen may get knocked down somewhere in this, and look. Do you think San Francisco was prepared when Purdy went out in that NFC title game 2 years ago?
It clearly wasn't. Wasn't.
Well, do you think you'll be more prepared heading into the playoffs now? What Brian Dawkins is saying, that your guy got some reps.
Yeah, I think you will.
These are quality reps here. By the way, dude.
This is my fear, though.
If Devontae catches the fucking football, you win the game. It's over.
Yeah, but my problem with what you just said, which is great, we'll be more prepared, but Kenny Flickett just stinks. We're not winning shit with that guy. I don't care how prepared he is.
I thought that offense at times in that passing game, I thought it was just clicking, like flicking. I don't know, man. There was just some.
Yeah, he also delivered a deep ball to Frankie Louvo. He could have hand delivered that interception to Frankie Louvo. Dropped it right in the basket.
Oh, I just, there was like a little rhythm going on between him and AJ. By the way, AJ didn't have a poor game, dude. AJ had a good game. 8 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown.
He had 15 targets.
He should be quiet for a week.
Yeah.
I mean, you know him. I mean, that made him happy. By the way, they were going to him all the time. So, I mean, yeah, man. Wait a minute. 5 touchdown passes and 5 turnovers. I can't tell if you're telling me to go fuck myself or I love you. I'm not sure. Where are we going here with this? I mean, did they play? They gave up 300. How many yards of total offense did you give up in this ball game, too, man? You gave up 368. You almost gave up 370 yards of total offense against the Lindbergh Cheese defense today.
Oh, Lindbergh Cheese, my ass.
The quarterback had 340 yards of total offense.
Kenny Flickett. He sucks. I never want to hear you bring up Kenny Flickett again. I never want to hear it again.
I'll tell you who I will bring up, Jayden Daniels. That kid was magical today, man. 340 yards of total offense.
Yeah, I'll give him a credit, man. I think he deserves it. I like watching good football players.
You think he got the better of Vic this second round? Now, wait a minute. With help, because Hurts was out.
I guess it's, I mean, they won
the game. What do you mean you guess?
He had won the
just said that Jalen.
Not finish. They won the game and he had 5 touchdown passes. Isn't the answer freaking obvious at this point?
Just want to hear it.
You just want to hear it. Just like I wanted to hear you say.
With me. He's had the best year of any quarterback in the NFC East this year.
Okay, now I'll say that with you, but you have to agree to say this with me first. The Philadelphia Eagles are nothing and are shit without Jalen Hurts, which means he's the MVP of the Philadelphia Eagles.
So wait a minute, folks.
Not anybody else.
This is why I can't say that, because I would say this to you. Any backup quarterback taking over the Eagles, no way. But if I had Sam Darnold, I could win and do what he's doing. If Kenny Flickett can keep you in a game with all that talent, what do you think a competent quarterback can actually do?
You're moving the post. You're moving the post.
You want me to agree over a backup? How about a guy like Sam about Baker Mayfield. What would Mayfield, if Mayfield walked in, he'd throw for 10 touchdowns today.
So Saquon Barkley had 28 carries for 82 yards outside of his one carry for 68
Not
yards.
an awful day.
28 carries for 82 yards. That's pretty bad. I'm telling you that without Jalen Hurts, he's a different player, though. And that's where Jalen Hurts is a lot more valuable to this team than even I have given him credit for. The team will not do anything without Jalen Hurts. So my number one priority is get that man healthy, whatever it takes to get him healthy, because we ain't going anywhere in the postseason. We're going to be talking on the National Football Show about the draft in late January if we don't get Jalen Hurts.
Hey, Pumper, it was solidified today. The best quarterback in the NFC East is in Washington.
No, it wasn't. I don't.
Yes, it was.
I don't buy that even for a second.
Oh, by the way, his rookie year, he's 1-1 against the Eagles and Vic.
Congrats, you beat Kenny Flickett.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Jalen Hurts doesn't play defense.
Kenny Flickett,
5 TDs. How you doing?
Can someone get me the number on 3 and out? How many gifts did we give the Commanders offense today? Seriously.
Hey, guess what? That's like saying this. Hey, wait a minute. You beat Christian McCaffrey in the NFC title game. That's not Jalen Hurts' fault.
I'm feeling like M. Reyes today. M. Reyes says, dare I say it was a quality loss? If that's not the greatest M. Reyes spin you'll ever hear in your life.
Holy shit, that's the answer of a waiter.
Well done, M. Reyes.
Dare say it was a quality loss. Oh, my God.
Well, I don't know how you can sit here and tell me.
I feel like I just kissed a cousin. Holy shit, is that ugly? Oh,
well,
man.
You know, you say that this team wouldn't be anything without.
Look at you guys.
How can you tell me that Jayden Daniels has been better than Hurts when we just admitted
He's
that
had
this
a better
team would
year?
No, it's not true.
Yes,
it's no longer true because we lost Jalen Hurts and you saw what it looked like.
Okay, well, he had it. And I saw what a guy did by himself. He had no run game, and it was him. All him.
Look,
Dude,
Wayne
you got
Payne.
You got 5 guys in your huddle. With this
3 points off of 5.
All him.
3 points.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, and I forgot. The guy you guys waived who had 2 TDs. Wait, he made a guy.
No, we didn't waive him. We just didn't sign
By the way, you guys want to hear something even crazy? How do you say that kid's name? Olamide Zaccheaus. How do you say his name?
Olamide Zaccheaus.
Look at what Jayden Daniels.
Olamide going to run today.
Hey, Pumper, check this out. Jayden Daniels made that guy look like a star, and Hurts made that guy look like a bum. And this guy had 2 TDs in this game, and that guy beat you.
Well, he's on a shitty team now.
He made that guy look great today.
A different team, different setup. I mean, I'm not going to,
Look at these. Holy shit. I never thought Zander Krause. Hey, Joe, you need, I think it's the hat. Oh, man. Holy shit. We got Excuse City here.
See, normally you make this shift after the postgame show.
What? No.
Normally it comes like right before the 2 p.m. show when you check in at 1:58.
Nothing tops it more than a quality. Hey, I got a quality. That's going to be the open of my show tomorrow. A quality loss.
M. Reyes, look at that. M. Reyes, you're giving Sills open on the shows now, my friend. You're reaching legend territory quick, M. Reyes.
Quality loss. Holy shit, man. So you tell me, did listen, I'll be transparent with you. I can't answer it either. Did the defense play well?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say yes because 370 yards is a lot, but it's only a lot for this defense. It's not crazy in the modern NFL. 5 takeaways is pretty absurd. Kenny Pickett can't move a ball to save his life. And you tip your cap to Jayden Daniels, who figured out how to make the most of the opportunities eventually, and he had 5 touchdown passes. I mean, I got to give him credit for that. You got to beat the defense up a little bit from that. Now, we'll have John McMullen who's checking in, so we'll talk to him in just a second.
Here's one thing, though, now. Again, with this, John is there, so he'll be able to give us more, like, if they're feeling – you're not going to know right now what grade it is. If this is going to be a 2, 3, or 4 grade, that could keep him out extended period of time. But right now, you've got a situation where Minnesota's up 17-7 right now in Seattle. And if they win, you're talking about the next 3 football games here, okay? Now, they win next week. That last game of the year comes down to Minnesota-Detroit. That will come down to home field advantage. So if I'm the Eagles, I keep an eye on that ball game, because if it's a significant injury, and I'm not saying it is, I'm sitting far away from that scenario. So we'll see how that plays, and we'll see how the Eagles play this out this week here, because that Minnesota-Seattle game is significant now that the Eagles have lost, because 3 teams were fighting for home field.
Yeah.
They take a step back with this loss for sure.
And Detroit won today, and now it looks Minnesota, I mean, that game's nowhere near over. 1:37 left in the second quarter, but they're up 17-7. So we will keep you posted on what happens in that game. Speaking of John McMullen, the great #1 Eagles beat reporter in the city, is going to join us now from the stadium, joining us here on the JAKIB Postgame Show. Johnny Mac, I do not know quite how to analyze that game. You tell me, John, what jumps out at you? What's the first thing that comes to mind when I ask you about that football game?
Well, I'm not going to panic. It's a very close game. Obviously, credit to Washington for coming back. But, you lose Jalen Hurts 6 minutes into the game. You're playing your backup quarterback. They were able to play differently. They could load the box against Saquon Barkley, kind of stuff him in the second half for the most part. You had the very, very, very uncharacteristic drop from Devontae Smith, which basically would have sealed the game. You had the drop on the wheel route from Saquon Barkley. I just talked to him about that. A lot of uncharacteristic stuff, but also some sloppy play. I mean, some significantly sloppy play. You look at that winning touchdown. If CJ Gardner's in that game, who knows what happens? But he got himself thrown out with 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties all over the place. Couple 12 men on the field, too many men in the huddle penalties, broken coverage. That's one thing that's amazed me with the Eagles defense this year. We never talk about broken coverages. Well, here they are. Slay's running off the field. Kaylee Ringo's on the field. You get a blown coverage. What the heck was that about? We'll talk to Vic Fangio at some point this week, although Christmas might conflict with that. But, yeah, very, very uncharacteristic play from all 3 phases. I talked about the weather before the game. I thought it'd be lower scoring. That didn't hold up. A lot of scoring. But, the one thing it impacted was the kickoffs. Kickoff returns were a big part of this game and getting good field position. And at the end of the game, you have the kickoff and Sidney Brown goes offside. You get an extra 5 yards on that. And all of a sudden, here comes Washington. So a lot of uncharacteristic play by the Eagles.
John, I thought it was some of it undisciplined too. The Carter penalty in there too. I mean, it just was undisciplined around where so many situations, like critical situations in games too, that cost like the extending of the series. I didn't think Washington was that hot on the other side. They had some plays too. And like I said to you too, John, in the pregame, I thought the Marshawn Lattimore conditioning played a factor, because in the second half, I mean, those long routes were getting to him, and he just had to basically hold on for dear life. But I thought it was a gritty performance, John. I mean, they hung around the rim. I mean, I can't tell if the defense played well or not. You gave up 340 yards of total offense to Daniels and 5 touchdowns. But you create 5 turnovers, I mean, you had the worst and the best of it, and it really just made
strange game.
Yeah, and you know what, John? I think the significance of Hurts, and I told Zander this, I think the significance of Hurts being out was the fact that if you have 2 turnovers, I can't believe it. You had 5 turnovers in the game, but why is that not a big deal when Jalen's not in the game? Because Kenny Pickett's going to give you 3 and outs, John. He's going to give you a chance to make up for those turnovers, because you're not going to have extended drives that Jalen's going to extend. He was extending the drives in that first series when he was taking off on 3rd down, taking those runs. So that's where I thought the game was affected most, with Hurts not being out there, because like you said, did you see what Dan Quinn did, John? He dropped one of his safeties down in the box. He was playing with 1 safety back there. I mean, if Jalen Hurts is in that game, you're not playing with one safety back there with those guys running around.
We lose Johnny Mac.
No question about it. I mean, it completely changes. So when the standpoint of Jalen Hurts and the people that say, all right, maybe it doesn't impact the Eagles offense. Well, you saw the impact he had on the Eagles offense. I mean, this looked like it was going to be a laugher early.
Yeah.
And he's gouging these big runs in the middle. And when he's doing that, you can't really focus on Barkley all the time. So it creates this whole environment. And then everything on the outside, in theory, should be easier, which at times it has been, at times it hasn't been, which has been some of the frustration. But I would say overall, you see the difference when he's not on the field. And by the way, I thought Kenny Pickett persevered pretty well in difficult circumstances. When Washington took the lead, I think everybody's going to forget this. 28-27, I asked Nick Sirianni about this after the game. They converted 2 fourth downs that everybody will forget about until they don't convert a fourth down. And that got them back in the lead. That got them back in the lead when Washington had all the momentum, and then Washington did a bad job, and they were able to go up with another field goal before all the bad stuff started to happen again. But aggression, I talk about it all the time on this show. Aggression has served this team so well, and it did again today, but everybody's going to forget about it because of the breakdowns at the end of the game. And bottom line here, guys, and to DeVonta Smith's credit, he said, if I catch that ball, the game's over. The game's over.
Over. And like you said, John.
Game's over. I joke, Justin.
Like you said, John, Pickett leads them to what would have been a game-winning field goal. I mean,
so John's on a slight delay, too.
If he makes that if he makes that catch, John, thing's over, and Pickett would have done his job. I mean, look, like you said, this is what I said about him. Look, I thought he went in there, persevered as well as he possibly could for any backup, and he kept them around the rim against a really good defensive coordinator. And if you were expecting Jalen Hurts, there's a reason he's a backup. I mean, Nick Foles isn't walking out of that locker room. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's not walking out of there. You're going to get that kind of performance when you have a backup quarterback, whether it's Wentz in Kansas City or whether it's someone in Tampa. It doesn't matter. I thought he hung around the rim and gave him an opportunity to win that football game. He totally gave him a chance to win the game.
No, and I'll say this too. There was at one point where Tanner McKee was warming up, and that's because Kenny Pickett was banged up, and he had what he said after the game was a bit of a rib injury. So when I heard you guys talking about Jalen Hurts, I saw Jalen. Look, it's the concussion protocol. I'm not a neurologist, but he looked fine. I'm not too concerned about any long-term damage with Jalen Hurts. And we'll see if it's even meaningful the final 2 weeks of the season, as you mentioned, with some of the other stuff going on. They got to win a game to clinch the NFC East, but you get the point. It may not matter. You may be able to rest some players down the stretch. With Kenny Pickett, he had a rib injury. And the problem is Tanner McKee came into this game. He wasn't on the 53. He was the emergency quarterback. So you can put him in the game, but if you put him in the game, the other guys can't return. So you got to be very, very wary. And Kenny was able to go. So he did all that. Those fourth down conversions, that pass to DeVonta Smith, that pass to Saquon Barkley that should have been caught. He did all that with bad ribs. And he's going to get more. I'm more concerned about him moving forward than Jalen Hurts moving forward.
John, do you expect Jalen to be back next week? The reason I ask is because I don't know if he'll
from an
get
injury perspective. I should clarify.
Did you hear my question, Johnny Mac?
Yeah, the concussion pro. Yeah, I mean, Sidney Brown got back this week. Only 2 players. Ben Van Sumeren got back this week. Sidney Brown got back this week in 1 week. It's possible. The odds say around the league it's unlikely. Most players don't make it back in a week. I wish I could tell you why. There's no I'm sorry, this upsets a lot of people. It's junk science. There's no rhyme or reason to it. We don't know a lot about it, but nobody's willing to admit it. So the odds are against him. But I'm just saying long term, I heard you guys where, you don't know how things are going to.
Right.
I'm not concerned about any long-term Tua like multi-week type thing.
How about this, John? Would tonight's game here with Minnesota, would that determine that they may rest them? Because if Minnesota wins, you're really looking at pretty much one of those two teams winning home field advantage. Now that this was the significance of this is that you're not staying pace with Minnesota and Detroit. Now you're a game behind both. You're really 2 games behind in a way because of the fact that, you got both those football teams here. Now that you've dropped this game, do you look at that as now something that the Eagles would say this? Let's play Pickett here in the next ball game. Let's make sure we're good going in to the final game, some reps. And then because you're going to be a wild card week player, most likely right now, do you make sure everybody's on all cylinders heading into that first week's game in the playoffs?
I mean, you got to see how things unfold. I mean, Seattle scored at the end of the half, so that game's still in doubt. It's only 17-14, so long way to go. I don't think, when teams figure out you can throw it on Minnesota, I think they take it too long before they figure it out. Maybe Seattle figured it out at the end of the half because they went right down the field, boom, boom, boom. So that's a long way to go. Bottom line is Detroit is the bigger concern. I mean, that team's not losing twice, and basically they have to lose twice, and the Eagles would have to win twice. The number 1 seed is probably unrealistic. So, you still have to clinch the NFC East. You still have to clinch the number 2 seed. I think that's going to top it out. Once they do that, yeah, I think they'll rest people.
How about
Certainly
this, John?
Week 18. Sorry for the Saquon record, people.
Jared Goff had 23 of 32, 336 yards and 3 touchdowns. Gibbs went for 109 in a TD, and Jamison Williams had 143 on 5 catches, an 82-yarder and a touchdown. I mean, they're still doing what they need to do.
Good.
They're really good on offense.
They're good. And they've had so many injuries. I think everybody looks at them and says, oh, they're done. They're not done. They're the best team in football, certainly offensively. And they're really, really difficult to deal with. And by the way, in case anyone hasn't noticed, 14-1 Kansas City or whatever they are, 14-1. I've lost track. DeAndre Hopkins is starting to look like DeAndre Hopkins. They got Hollywood Brown back to add into Xavier Worthy. All of a sudden they have weapons. There's some serious hurdles to overcome. And I don't concern myself with Minnesota that much, but Detroit and Kansas City, they're probably better than the Eagles, to be honest.
How about this, John? How about this? Concerned about Green Bay at all?
A little bit. I said Green Bay is the one sort of outlier that I think can get hot on a particular week and beat you. But this game, I'm not even wavered by this game because I think if Jalen doesn't get hurt, I think they win this game pretty easily. The way it was going, looked like Washington had no idea how to deal with the running game with Jalen Hurts involved, along with Saquon Barkley. Once you take Jalen Hurts out of the equation, it's all right. Load the box and stop Saquon. You can't do that if Jalen's on the field. Can't. Right. So the game goes a completely different way if Jalen Hurts is out.
John, how do you evaluate the defensive performance today? I mean, they had 5 takeaways, but Jayden Daniels also had 5 touchdown passes, and there was almost 370 yards of total offense for Washington. How do you evaluate the defense today? Did they have a good game with 5 takeaways, a bad game giving up 5 touchdown passes? You tell me, Johnny Mac.
Yeah, it's kind of like the defensive performance of Jayden Daniels. It kind of coerced. One play Jayden looks awful, and the next play he's throwing a dart in between 3 defensive backs, and you're going, "Oh, you just won the game." It's if the consistency ever comes, you're going to have something special with Jayden Daniels. defensively, yeah, I mean, they were great. A lot of it had to do with CJ getting thrown out. You know, as I said, instead of Tristan McCullum, maybe it's a little bit more difficult. Boy, if you watch that last touchdown, Zach Bone's underneath. You got him bracketed with Reed Blankenship and Tristan McCullum, and it was just like I said, it was a dart. It was a dart that was a bullseye. Who knows if CJ's out there? But you know, every time this team does something unsportsmanlike conduct or personal foul, it's always 98 or 8, and it's like you're a Miami guy, Dan. Sometimes you need these guys with an edge to put you over the top. But there's also a fine line. And Jalen Carter, as talented as he is, CJ Gardner-Johnson, as talented as he is, they have to stop doing stupid shit at times, to be perfect.
John, I've said this, and like, you know, the one thing about Jerome back in the day, he picked his moments, and he had great knack for picking your moments when you're doing that kind of stuff and you're trying to create that kind of aura about your defense. Hey, being an asshole in making 15-yard penalties doesn't make you a tough defense. That makes you an undisciplined defense. You know, with Jimmy, we were one of the least penalized teams, and yet we were one of the biggest shit-talking teams. No, but we knew how to pick our point.
Like Saquon, who fumble.
We lose you, Johnny Mac. We got you.
Yeah, you got me. A little bit of delay, so I apologize.
Yeah, well, just one more question left.
I have no control over that.
Yeah, just one more question for you, Johnny Mac, from me, and then if Sills has another, he can close it out. But John, any concern on the discipline? You just talked about it with those two players, but to me, that's a reflection of the head coach. And maybe I'm wrong to do this, but I think about last week when I watched Clint Hurt not let the head coach discipline the player that you talked about. I don't think that that's the right way to go about it. I didn't at the time. I still don't. Is the discipline something to be concerned about of this team moving forward?
Well, it was today, and it was not only the unsportsmanlike stuff, which is, you know, that's pretty easy to correct, but we'll see if CJ can correct it. You can't get thrown out of the game for goofy stuff like that. You know, the substitution things, they got caught with 12 men in the huddle twice. I don't recall that happening. It probably has, but I can't think of off the top of my head. It was just an ugly game.
John, what was
John, a lot of mistakes.
John, what was the kickoff thing where it was short too in special teams, where they got penalized for that also? I mean, outside of Elliott, I mean, it just looked like the special teams were all over the place too. You know what I mean? I mean, I thought that was weird too, because that put them on the 40, didn't it?
Yeah, just real quick. They had troubles with kickoffs. That was the weather. Both teams had trouble with the kickoffs. They just couldn't kick them. The first kickoff, they didn't even hit the landing zone. The second kickoff, they gave up the 47-yard return to McCaffrey, but they were able to force a fumble. It was Jalen Carter. That's the good. Jalen Carter forces a fumble 2 plays later, and you get the ball right back essentially at midfield. So, I got the pool reports for CJ getting thrown out of the game. According to referee Sean Smith, he was basically taunting the opponent on the second foul. He already had a first one earlier in the game that we announced as his first towards disqualification. So that was the second. Taunting players is disqualification by rule. So there you have it. He was taunting. And then I believe he gave the finger, I think I saw, to fans as he left the field. So he's probably going to get fined as well. I mean, it's just, you can't do that stuff. And, you know, there's no way of knowing. But if CJ's on the field in that final drive, Tristan McCullum has done a nice job when he's been fourth, and he's not CJ. You know, who knows what position he's in on that final play. Stuff like that impacts the game. I mean, it just does. And they had 10 penalties for 91 yards in the game. And by the way, also kudos to A.J. Brown real quick, because they had a 69-yard drive that resulted in a Jake Elliott field goal. 61 of them were on A.J. Brown defensive pass interference, drawing defensive pass interference.
Yep.
61.
Absolutely.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, insane. Johnny Mac, well, thank you.
61 of 69 yards.
Incredible.
Johnny Mac, thanks for checking in, brother. Is this a game you flush it and move on? What's your final thoughts, John, before I let you go, brother?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't have your quarterback. You don't have your quarterback for basically 54 minutes of the game, and he lost with 6 seconds left. I mean, yeah, this is an easy one to flush. The only reason it's not easy to flush is because you still had hopes of being the number 1 seed, and that's probably out the window. So that's difficult, but somebody gets injured, somebody gets rolled. By the way, Jalen was trying to get back in that game twice.
He was.
He didn't want to leave the field when he got the concussion. Had to be forced off.
They took his helmet away from him.
Yeah.
That's when he didn't go back in.
He came out of the injury tent. Yeah. He came out of the then they had to take him back in the injury tent, and he finally went into the locker room. He was trying to get back in the game twice. So I'm not concerned about any long-term effects from that standpoint.
Johnny Mac, good stuff, brother. Travel home safely. We'll talk to you in the morning on Birds 365. All right, brother?
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Johnny Mac.
Thank you, John.
From Johnny Mac. We had a little bit of a delay on Johnny Mac, so he's like,
well, it's the Daniel Snyder curse.
Yeah, he's 3 or 4 seconds behind. That's why I said when you're cutting him off, he doesn't hear that till 4 seconds later. So you might as well just let him yap. But good stuff there. I thought John had some pretty good takeaways on the game. Sills, I feel nothing. I feel nothing.
Here's my favorite line of the day. What between M. Reyes and Zander Krause, a quality loss. That is going to be the theme of my open. You want to know what a shitty open is? I'm going to show you one on Monday.
Are you still mad at me chirping your open?
Quality loss starts on Monday, 2-6 national. Holy shit. I've heard it all from you now. A quality loss. Hey, Sills, that was if you're going to lose a game, you're going to lose. No, I don't want to lose anything. I want everything. I
didn't say that. That was the great M. Reyes.
Quality loss.
And number 2, you didn't have Jalen Hurts. If anything, it shut your ass up. And he is the most important player on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey, wait. Welcome to the NFL. Your quarterback got knocked out of the game. Welcome to the NFL. How you doing? You got to be prepared for that.
Okay,
and they were.
If Tom Brady got hurt on his Super Bowl team, you want to change the expectations?
All kidding aside, they were prepared for that. They just, like you said, watch this. Dude, at the end of the day, do I look at this game and go like this? Dude, whatever. It's like box of rocks, this game. They were prepared were they not better prepared than what San Francisco was prepared in that NFC title game? Dude, at least they gave them a chance to win it. Dude, Pickett gave them a shot. At least, I mean, when you put Minshew in 22, it was a train wreck. It was a train wreck. Is he Jalen? No. And I love it when every Eagle guy's now like, hey, Sileo, you think the offense would be better with Pickett? Do I think the offense would be better with a backup? No. But do I think the offense would be better with Sam Darnold? Hell yeah.
No, you don't.
Did you see Pickett, though, man? There were times in that game it was just like really humming right on. That passing game was just going, dog. It was right there, man.
Any flick, it stinks. We got a couple minutes left, so let's read a couple super chats from our great viewers here on JAKIB Sports. Brian Pumper, he sent this back at the beginning of the show. He said, I told y'all, Jalen Knight's hero did not slide like he's supposed to. Jayden Daniels is that guy. That's a BS take.
That's not how I do it. His head hit the turf, man. It was a tackle, and he was trying to get extra yards. You slide, like Brady said, so, hey, Pump, I'm with you, man. Just a small bit. Pump, I'm with you just a small bit, my man.
Jackson, he says, not even mad. Didn't expect to win 13 straight before the playoffs. Feels better losing without your star quarterback instead of with him. We win. Smith catches the ball. Agreed.
Okay. Hey, dual threat.
It's a good super chat, though.
Dual threat. I mean, hey, this is what you get when you got a guy, your running back's your best quarterback. How you doing?
Anthony Wilson taking a shot. I don't want to hear anything else about this team makes Jalen Hurts. Pickett put up 4 field goals. Hurts was on the verge of blowing this team out.
Well, we'll never know, will we? I know this. He was 1 for 4 when he was throwing the ball, and he looked like shit starting out.
Oh, what? You're not going to use great. 1 for 4, are you?
Great. He looked great running.
You're better than that. I'm holding you to a higher standard.
Shit throwing the ball.
Than that.
He looked like shit throwing the ball.
Christopher Darker says, Sills, they had 150 rushing yards in the first quarter before Hurts went out. They would have crushed them if he stayed in.
They would have won by 10. Yeah, they'd have won by 10.
Kenny says, with it looking more like the number 2 seed, I want Washington again in Philly with Jalen. Yeah, I think we'll win easily.
Either Washington or most likely Green Bay.
Well, I think Green Bay is – well, Washington, I think, has 2 easy-ass games to finish. And Green Bay, let me look up who they have to finish, because they have the Saints tomorrow night. Then they have the Vikings and the Bears. So they're going to get to if they win today, they'd have to lose, I think, 2, depending on because then they get into a tiebreaker scenario. If they lose next week to Minnesota, but win versus the Saints tomorrow and the Bears, which they probably will.
I think you're going to have to go through Washington. If you're going to go to Super Bowl, I think you're going to have to go through Washington. You're going to have to go through Green Bay and then probably either Minnesota or Detroit in the NFC title game. And then you're going to have to beat the God in Kansas City.
Man, they're humming right now, aren't they?
I know. Watch it. You know, people keep telling me, hey, shit, man, Kansas City, man, they're just not very good. I know. They're 14-1.
Yeah, right. I mean, come on with that crap. Tekiana checks in. Tekiana checks in. JD5 is solid, but we have to respect veteran quarterbacks' resume. Hurts has shown more than Dak, Jayden Daniels, Josh Allen, Baker, Jordan Love. Stat sheet suffers versus W's. Maybe got a little carried away there, Tekiana.
Here, kid, you need these, man. It's all good.
I don't need those. Send those over to
Tech. Not this guy. He needs glasses if you're watching and saying that Jalen Hurts is as good. But by the way, Baker Mayfield has smoked your guy the last 2 games. So before you start, you might want to beat him. Okay, you might want to beat Baker. He is 2-1 versus the anointed one, right, Pumper? How you doing?
Thor Gunner checks, and he says Eagles win games with Jalen throwing for 100 yards. If Jayden throws for 100 yards, Commanders get destroyed. Jayden way more valuable than Jalen. What a stupid take.
That is a great take, and he is. You know why? He's the complete offense. Hurts doesn't have to be. Get this, though. To Zander's point that he opened the show with.
Lost the first game.
Hold on for a second. Hold on. Him being out there is a factor, okay? Just his presence.
It's a massive factor.
Okay? I wouldn't go massive, but
it's massive. No, you go 10 straight, you win 10 games with him at the helm. You lose him for 3 quarters, your defense turns into a sieve, your offense gets 5 turnovers hand delivered to them, and they get a couple field goals.
Hurts' impact is in the run game, and it always will be.
Eagle Body Bag says McKee was here for 2 years straight, outperformed Mariota last year and Kenny this year in preseason. He's supposed to be the second string. He wants to see McKee.
No way. No way. Dude, you think McKee would have kept that team around the rim? No freaking. By the way, like John says, if Devontae catches the ball, the game's over. That wasn't on him. And by the way, he led you to a game-leading field goal there at the end of the ball game. Barkley dropped the ball, and also Devontae dropped the ball.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it wasn't on the kid.
Dude, that's a bad drop today for Smith. I love Smitty. That was a bad drop, man.
I think he just got too excited because he was
going to
take it.
That's fundamental.
Didn't that drop remind you of the drop in New Orleans by Barkley? It was
Atlanta. It was Atlanta. We beat
Atlanta, right? Atlanta, right? Didn't that reminded me of that?
It did. Joe High checks in. He says, I think this goes back to last week's sideline issues. The team don't respect Nick. Joe, you're kind of on to my point about the discipline on the show. I didn't like – I know you're boys with Clint Hurt. I did not like him not letting Nick discipline his guy last week. I didn't like it. I thought it was stupid.
And I think
that kind of stuff has the potential to have a bigger effect.
You know why you're right now? Because it happened again. Okay.
Right.
I thought that would have been erased. Instead, he was an asshole in a critical moment again, Zander.
Right.
Dude, I mean, that is really a coaching issue for Monday, 2 to 6, National Football Show. Hey, back to being the greatness of Nick. Nick, it's your fucking team. Your team was all over the joint. It was undisciplined, Nick.
It was. There's no pushback on that this week. They were an undisciplined football team today. Spurger King checks in. Last one. I'll let you go here soon. So,
no.
Spurger King says, I was gifted a membership, assuming that's from Zander Krause. I appreciate you and the olive oil assassin, Big Sills. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, brother. That was not me. That was actually Kenny. I think it was Kenny Sprague who gifted you that, Spurger. So I appreciate you, brother. NJ Fishing says, Brian Pumper pumping his meat whistle to a Jayden Daniels rookie card as he's watching right now. That's almost too foul to read on the show, dude.
Hold on here. Wait a minute here. Nick Sirianni, an undisciplined football team, and the defense shredded by a rookie. Okie dokie.
They also had 5 takeaways, so they weren't shredded. It's not fair to say
He
shredded.
had 340 yards of total offense.
Is that like some world-beating offense? Tom Brady had 500 on us, and we won the game.
Tom Brady was a 20-year guy. This guy is a rookie. He's only played 12 NFL.
Okay, so now 370 is like the greatest. Now Sileo is saying 370 is the greatest offensive performance
quarterback
in history.
The NFC East resides in Washington, D.C.
No, that's not true. I don't buy that for a second.
By the way, so your guy right now has 2 more wins than him. And he's 1-1 versus that team. Get this, like I said, you've got 2 more wins than him. And this guy has led his team. Congratulations to you. Whoa. How you doing?
All right, so it's your final takeaways, brother, on this game. Listen, all seriousness, let's get your final thoughts before 2 to 6 tomorrow. We'll let you get out of here now.
Hey, dude, it was a real gutty performance. I take no real negative except for the discipline.
Yeah,
that's what we're going to hammer a little bit on Monday. 2 to 6 is the discipline on the team. Also, there's no question about it, too, dude. The health of the team, man. There were guys that were falling. I saw Jordan Davis get banged up in that game. I saw a ton of guys get knocked out in that game. And by the way, I want to see how Nick handles this week, because there's going to be shit brought back up again. And I'm going to have to get Angelo on Monday now. So now, I'm going to have to get Angelo. Hey, I always wait when there's always a Nick moment. So I got to get Angelo on Monday, and we'll talk to him too and get his takeaways along with Gary Cobb. But look, man, I mean, here's the significant thing. And it's not a quality loss, according to Emirates, because here's the deal. You lose the opportunity potentially of the home field advantage. Again, keep an eye on this Zander. If Minnesota loses this ball game tonight, and it's tied up right now at 17-17.
Oh, did they come back?
That can keep you in the room, okay? Because if Minnesota wins, there's going to be psychotic tiebreakers. If Minnesota beats Detroit and you guys all win out, there's going to be a 3-way tie record-wise, and then it's going to come down to common opponent. So keep winning, man. Let's see what happens in that ball game. A quality loss today for the Philadelphia Eagle fans. Congratulations.
Well, listen, here's the best silver lining, and you can't dispute this one, okay? And you're not even going to try. At least we got a bunch of giveaways to do on the channel.
Oh, we're doing a giveaway on my show tomorrow too, by the way.
Yeah, we'll probably do that Tuesday. We're going to do a short show on Tuesday, maybe like 30 to an hour show or something. But I'll tell you, we'll get all that worked out. There'll be no shows on Wednesday. It sucks going into Christmas on a loss, though. I love Christmas. I didn't want to lose before Christmas.
Yeah, but think about the big war. Think about the big war you got. You're looking to win here. Okay, maybe you lost a small battle here and you didn't lose it. You didn't get blown out, man. You lost by you lost by personnel not being out there. John's right. If Gardner-Johnson's out there, I mean, dude, McMullen was late on the play. He was behind him. I mean, he was wide open. I mean,
he got ripped, McCollum, in a couple plays he was out there.
Yeah. I mean, so we'll see. It's a good L. I see it. Wow, do I have good material?
Chips and birds, good L, tough L. I don't know about that. Good
a tough L. Okay, I'll take that because you could have lost home field advantage. But do me a favor, keep an eye on that Minnesota game tonight.
Yeah, we will do it. Sills, we'll be looking forward to the show 2 to 6 tomorrow. The best show on YouTube, the National Football Show with Dan Sileo. Great stuff today, brother. We'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, my man.
Thanks, everybody, and I appreciate it. Please hit the like button. We'll catch you 2 to 6, like Xander said. Don't forget also Birds 365. Brother, thank you, man. I'll catch you tomorrow, and I'll see you at 3:30.
Excellent stuff by Big Sills there. We appreciate him for doing it today here on the postgame show. Thought Johnny Mack had some great takeaways today, too. I feel nothing, everybody. That's how I feel right now. I don't know why. I feel nothing. How am I supposed to be upset that we lost the game where Jalen Hurts didn't play? If anything, I feel better because it shows you that Jalen Hurts, his impact on games, Brian Pumper, is more than meets the eye. It's more than meets the eye. He extends drives. He does things in games. He knows how. I think it was Philadelphia Underdogs. If you're still watching Philadelphia, I appreciate you, brother. His ability to control a game and control the clock and always be the driver on the game, I think is so underrated. And if anything, I think that's it. That's a takeaway today is that Jalen Hurts is a very meaningful part of this team. Kill, appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. Philly 444 says, all right, Krause, be honest. Are you concerned about the Smith drop? I'm not concerned about the player, Philly 444. It was a shitty drop. And a lot of times in the NFL, games come down to making plays. And if he makes that play, this game is over. So does it suck? Absolutely. But I don't have concern. I don't have concern about the player. He's a sure-handed player. That was a tough drop there, an uncharacteristic drop there. Obviously an unfortunate one, but certainly an uncharacteristic drop. And I'm not going to, I will recognize that play potentially cost us the game. And I think it did. I mean, look, sometimes there's a lot of plays you can call out that cost you a game or win you a game, right? That's how football goes. But in that moment, with everything that had happened before that catch would have ended the game. It would have ended the game. So, yeah, I will recognize that, but I have zero concern about the player. Zero concern about the player. Elizabeth says, I started to tear up when Jalen went down. It's a brutal sport. It was a tough hit, Elizabeth. That was a tough hit on the quarterback, man. I mean, I'm watching the game, and I see him get up, and it almost looked like for a second he didn't really want to be helped up. Like, Mailata was over there kind of pulling him up, and it almost looked like Jalen was like, you could tell he was out of it. And then he stood up, and he had this, I've seen a guy can cut. He had a blank look, man. He had that. His eyes were glazed, were glossed over, and I hope he's all right. I was good to hear John say he saw him after. He doesn't have any fears of long-term thing there, and he thinks it was just kind of concussion protocol. You can't really get out of it. So good stuff. I'm going to read a couple super chats now, and then we will bring on the great people of JAKIB Nation. I'm going to do the different than last week. I split it up. I thought that would be a better move with YouTube. I'm going to keep it all right here. All right. So stay tuned, everybody. Stay locked in here on the postgame show, and I'll get to a couple great people here on JAKIB Nation. A little bit less time today. All right, everybody. So we'll have about 45 minutes, and I got to run through people. So if you're going to join the show, put your thoughts top of mind. If you want to ask me something, that's fine. And I'll get you in 3 to 5 minutes each. All right. Cheapskate Coin says, defense played great for 3 quarters, but we're exhausted and without CJ Gardner-Johnson, Sweat, and Davis for the fourth quarter, allowing 22 points in the fourth. It was definitely a I don't, like I said, I don't know if it was a bad defensive performance or he had 5 takeaways. He also gave up 5 touchdown passes to Jayden Daniels. Credit to him, by the way. He throws that ball well, but interesting performance to say the least. Dio says 21 points in first quarter, blowout if Hurts plays. Remember, 14 of those points did come with Pickett. Okay, Dio. Now, yes, Kenny got the ball right outside the red zone. He had the 3 passes complete to get into the end zone. Not giving him full credit for that drive. Jalen got us down there. Agreed. And then Saquon Barkley goes 68 yards to the house. I'm not putting that on Kenny Pickett either. By the way, why did the defense bite on it? If you go and watch that play, it's all Kenny Pickett runs a Jalen Hurts play, and the defense bites as if Kenny Pickett was going to keep the ball. And Saquon's off to the races. I'm like, how did you get fooled on that? Interesting. Brian Pumper says, I'll tell you what, how many dead ball personal fouls? Like, are we not playing a damn division game? These Zebras need to get the F out of the way. I agree with that completely. I mean, come on, man. These guys are football players. Let them play some football. I know you got to try and not, keep it together and not cost yourself. But fuck, man, let these dudes play. Let these dudes play. No limit, as Flexen just responded to. I will put the link in the chat in a little bit. All right, brother? A little bit. I will put that link in the chat for everybody to join. So I'm looking forward to talking to you, No Limit. If you can come on, man, it'll be pretty cool to talk to you. Eagle Body Bag says, what about the dumb calls like CJ getting ejected? That was a blow to the defense, and the kicker putting Washington in short field positions all game. Yeah, I don't know what was up to kicks today, man. John said that to his credit. He said that was the one thing that stood out today from the weather game. So interesting stuff. Foxworth will say pretty privileged got him injured. Foxworth's a dumbass. That was maybe the dumbest day of sports commentary I've ever heard. I'm not even joking with you. That might have been the dumbest day on social media that I've ever seen in my life. I mean, really? We're talking about Jalen Hurts being a handsome guy? I mean, come on. Weird. Seriously, weird. Andrew Smith says, what was up with the decision to kick the ball off time and again short? Haven't seen that from us all year and kept giving them better field. I think it was the weather, Andrew. Another comment on the kicks. I think it was the weather, brother. I really do. Ball just doesn't sail when it's cold like that, man. 20 degrees, 25 degrees there. Naz said, Pickett was 3 for 16 on third down. Holy shit. He sure did keep the Eagles in the game. What a gutsy performance. 3 of 16 is not good, Naz. Not good, brother. Appreciate you checking in. I already read that. Good stuff there. Zucchini was cooking us. Brian Johnson revenge game. Jalen Knights needed some humble pie, and they got it. Commanders got the recipe to beat us. I don't feel any humble pie, I don't think, on Jalen Knights Pumper. I mean, I think it proved, if anything, how valuable he is to the team. Brian, will you say in the chat, if you're still in the chat, let me see if you're still in the chat. Will you say right now, Brian, because Sills admitted to this, and I'd like to hear you admit to this. And maybe you won't. If you won't, that's fine. I can't speak for you. Did today at least show you that Jalen is more valuable to this team than you thought? Sileo admitted that today. You're here. I see you, brother. I appreciate you. Did today prove to you that Jalen does have inherent value to this football team, that he is not fully the caboose? He does have a big impact on winning the football game. Can you acknowledge that? Anthony, I'll get to it, brother. Don't worry. I'm going to get to all of them. Come on, Pump. I see you, Ronald. Good stuff, bro. Thank you, man. I don't see what Pumper responds. Y'all let me know what Brian responds. I'm going to try and read a couple more super chats here. There's Anthony. I got you, Anthony. I see you, man. Anthony says, I think this says more good than bad for this team. QB1 goes out early, rotating door of players in and out all game, and 2 catches away from 15-1. It's a good point. It's a good way to look at it. I mean, it's an optimistic view. I think you can recognize that. I can too. It's an optimistic view, but it's not an unfair view. I think that's a good takeaway. I think that's a good takeaway. Manny says there's no one's denying he doesn't help, but he's the weakest link on the offense. No, I don't think so, Manny. You saw what a weak link looked like today at quarterback. Your defense gets you 5 turnovers and you get a field goal out of it. You know. Brian says, I mean, we had Kenny in the game. I'm a McKeister. Brian Pumper. We can't win with this guy. I love you, Pump. You're a great supporter, man. I appreciate you. Skywalker takes a shot at you, Brian. He says, Brian Pumper is clearly not an Eagles fan. That's the fun of this show. That's the fun of this show that we're well aware of it. All right, I'm going to get to a break. I got to get to a couple more super chat. I got to look through them and see which ones I missed. Don't worry, I'll read them all out. Brian says 2 concussions now versus the Commanders for Hurts. That first game was a worse hit. I'm telling you, they need to emphasize sliding when playing Dan Quinn. I agree with that. I do agree with that. I'd like to see Hurts slide a little bit more. I know he likes to get those extra yards, but we need him in the game, man. We need him in the game. Too important, man. Need him in the game. All right, appreciate you all. I'm going to take our commercial break right now, and then we will talk to the great people of JAKIB Nation joining me on the post-game show. Looking forward to doing that. So stay tuned, everybody. Might have a double break here. I got some production duties, but we'll be back in a couple minutes here on the JAKIB Postgame Show.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an Audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the JAKIB Postgame Show here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander Krause. Appreciate each and every single one of you guys for tuning in. Had a big weekend here on JAKIB Sports. I want to remind everybody we had a big coat drive, big giveaway to our great veterans. I appreciate everybody who reached out to me on social. I did share some of that up on my page over at Real Zander on Twitter, and then I shared it up on YouTube as well. And I even broke out the Instagram that I've never used to share some of that up. So I appreciate everybody for reaching out, and a special thank you to the Steamfitters 420 local union. They donated every coat that we were able to give. Every veteran yesterday, about 100 plus, it was about, I want to say about 120, I want to say. Every veteran was hand delivered a brand new folded coat. They tried them on. They made sure it fit. They made sure they liked the style. It was an awesome event, and every veteran left very happy. Had them big pizza. Got them a bunch of pizzas. It was a lot of fun. So I appreciate everybody for the support, and you guys obviously supporting this channel helps make a lot of that happen as well. So big thanks to you guys for doing that. Birds drop one today, everybody. 10 straight. We were getting used to doing post-game shows talking about W's. All right, everybody, 36-33, we lose. And I will reiterate, I feel nothing from this loss. Other than that, it's unfortunate you're not going to get the 1 seed, or at least that became a far-fetched reality, and it's almost basically out of your hands now completely. I feel nothing. I mean, you lose with Kenny Pickett. Who cares? Who cares? If anything, it showed to me how valuable Jalen Hurts is to this football team. But Jayden Daniels went 24-39 today for 258 through the air, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, 5 touchdowns, guys. Jayden Daniels was also 9 carries for 81 yards. By the way, Brian Robinson, all that shit he talked on the Philadelphia Eagles all week, all that shit he talked, he had 10 carries for 24 yards. And how many did he have 2 fumbles? I know he had 1 fumble. Did he have 2 fumbles? So you're going to talk that and say you're a better team, and then you come in with a 24-yard performance on the ground, 2.4 yards a carry with a couple fumbles? Are you kidding me? Come on, Brian Robinson. That's a joke. Let's get to a couple super chats here. I want to make sure I try and get everybody on the super chats. Brian said, no Tanner slander because I know McKee's got me. Hurts with another late season injury. A trend is a trend. Wrong, pump. Let me find some super chats that I did not read yet. If you put a super chat in and I didn't read it, drop a comment. Drop a comment and say, hey, you missed my super. I'll get to everyone. 41-33. I like that name. It's reps for Pickett, reps for the coaching staff with Pickett in to understand what to call and not to call. We're going to destroy them in the playoffs. I think we'll destroy them just not because of Pickett, but because of Jalen Hurts. Jalen's best season, 23 TDs. Jayden has 22. Now, different styles of player, but I get it. You don't like Jalen. Can't be MVP when your team wins throwing 100 yards. What about when the first game you missed, or Gunner, your team falls apart, gives up 5 touchdown passes, defense can't manage it. Defense gives you 5 turnovers. Your offense gets a field goal out of it. I mean, Gunner, I know you don't like Hurts. I think that's pretty obvious, but can you not at least acknowledge where you are wrong, my friend? Come on, brother. Brandon says, this loss is on Howie. Holy shit, Brandon. Pickett only above Tanner because we traded for Pickett for a third and we ain't ready to cut our losses. Tanner was better in the preseason. It's an interesting take. Dor Gunner says, you still had A.J. Smith, Barkley, and we spotted you 5 turnovers. We put 35 in the defense still. No excuses. Doesn't that highlight that Kenny Pickett sucks? A.J. Smith, Barkley, and you got spotted 5 turnovers. I don't really know what you're getting at, brother. Eric says they made Hurts sit. He was ready to come back. Yeah, I think they were protecting himself. They were protecting the player from himself. Dirty D says, definitely would like that rest week as well. Maybe they'll use week 18 as that. Did anybody comment that I missed their super chat? Trying to get through all of them here. There's a boatload of them. Thanks, everybody, for the supers, by the way. They go a long way in helping us out. So it's the super chats, the memberships. If you guys are super chatting and you guys are becoming members on JAKIB, then we're giving away stuff. That's how it works. We got the Barkley jersey for this week. I got another Barkley jersey over there that my man Jason A-Team is going to pick up tomorrow. We're going to meet somewhere tomorrow, and I'm going to give that away. I got the Jerome Brown jersey hanging on the wall. I got Quignon's. I got Cooper DeJean's. I got them all right? And we're giving them all away. By the way, the two jackets and the pictures I posted of our giveaway yesterday, I have 2 at the studio as well in here that I'm going to give away to the channel. So we gave 2 to the vets. We got 2 for the channel. Looking forward to doing that for everybody. Anthony Wilson says, Daniels had short fields the whole game. Our kickoff coverage was poor. Special teams played a big role in their loss, get man off kickoffs. I agree. But Anthony, that was because of cold weather today, dude. Cal says, you see that game-winning touchdown? That was a false start. These refs disgust me. Yeah, and then what's his name's like? Yeah, Olsen is like, I like that no call. I'm like, it's the game-winning play. Jumping off false start is okay. Is a good no call, but physical football in the NFC East is not a good no call. Yeah, stupid. I thought it was a stupid comment. When did CJ get thrown out? They put up 20 in the 4th. Yeah, before the 4th, it was I think it was the 3rd quarter. He got thrown out. Good point, actually, Darker. Andre says, do we think Jalen gets cleared for Cowboys game? That's my hope, but you never know with this stuff, man. It's the NFL, so it's no longer just like a team thing or a Hurts thing where he can be like, hey, I want to be out there. The NFL could keep him off the field. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Paul, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Paul says, Zay, people don't realize that Jalen is the main ingredient to our formula for winning. He may not overwhelm with his numbers, but his presence and how the offense runs when he's present is a big deal. Well, Paul, it's a good day to send that super chat, my friend, because I think that was more apparent today than ever. And sometimes it takes losing him to see that clearly, right? I mean, the team was ugly to watch today when Jalen went out. Ryan says this could be the start of another collapse. I'm not buying that, Ryan. I'm not buying that. All right, I'm going to send the link out. If I missed a super chat, you let me know, please. I don't want to. Naz, did I miss yours? I got yours, right? I got yours, Naz. Did I get everybody's super chat? Here we go, Mad Bird. Appreciate it, Mad. What I learned today, Jalen Hurts is the leader of this team, and they're still a good team without him, but great with him. Get healthy, go Birds. Great take. Great take, Mad Bird. Per usual, brother. Per usual. Abe, I missed your supers. Let me find it, bro. Sorry about that, Abe. You know it's never intentional. Brother. Here we go. Got you, Abe. Got you, brother. Abe says, coaches got to step it up while players rest because there was no good situational play calling, not making it far in the playoffs like this. Pickett trash. Let's dissect that. Coaches got to step it up while players rest because there was no good situation. Well, Abe, remember, they had no prep this week for Pickett. Like, if for whatever reason Jalen does miss next week, I will say that the coaches and Kenny will be much more prepared to play than they were today. I'm not saying you're wrong. I didn't think the coaches were great today, but it's tough to throw your game plan out the window, and have to go to Pickett on the fly. It's just a different scenario. But I hear you. I hear you on that. No Limit says, people always say any quarterback can succeed in Philly. Yeah, I mean, it's all talk. James Carver, member for 6 months. Eagles signed a true fullback. They never used him to block or seal backside for Saquon. Instead, they continue to use Calcaterra, who couldn't block a blind man, then the constant 10-yard cushions. What the fuck? James, you're right. And Calcaterra is so bad in blocking. It's hard to watch. He's so bad. We're lucky that I think we recovered that fumble, the Pickett fumble, from when he got burnt. Jason says, I've always believed in Jalen since he took over. Good stuff, A-team. Looking forward to catching up with you again tomorrow, brother. Good stuff. I got your jersey. It's all sealed, ready to go. Fucking beautiful Kelly green, stitched. You're going to take that Nakobe Dean jersey, 18, that you were wearing last time I saw it. You're going to put that sucker on the shelf. You're going to be wearing that Saquon jersey loud and proud for the playoffs. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. All right, here comes the link, all right? Like I said, let's keep it short and brief today, all right, everybody? I got a lot of stuff to do tonight, so I don't have all day. As much as I'd love you all, and as much as I'd love to listen to you all night, all right? All right, there's the link. Link's in the chat. Who's coming in? Who's coming in on the JAKIB Postgame Show today? Who is joining in on the Postgame Show today? I'll have Abe. I know Abe's going to be on. I know Bob Brown's going to be on. I'm sure my man Anton will be back after his timeout. I gave him a timeout last week. There he is. Riding the bench is on. All right, we got a couple people in here. Let's get started. Abe, coming to you first, brother. You were in here first. All right, my man. I don't see you yet. I just see your screen. Abe, are you out there? Jason A-Team says, need me a Krause's Kango. Looks good. Thank you, man. I got a bunch of, I'm a little pissed, all right? I'm a little pissed. For those who know me or know my family, you know that my dad is the ultimate Kango guy, right? And now I'm starting to wear them. And let me tell you, I'm loving them. But I'm going to show you guys something. Maybe I shouldn't show you, but I'm going to show you because you guys are hanging out with me on the post-game show. I got a Victory Kango, all right? I got a Victory Kango, and I can't wear it, all right? It's like Kelly green, all right? I can't wear it because it was supposed to be my Victory Monday Kango. And I'm like, hey, come on, you fucking lose to the Commanders today? Got that sucker in the mail yesterday. Abe, here I come, brother. There he is. What's going on, my man? How you feeling after first loss in a long time for the Philadelphia Eagles, man?
Man, all I'm thinking about is just how bad Kenny Pickett is.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett.
And the fact that, oh my God, man. Still saying he needs more reps. Man had 2 years of fucking starting at the Steelers. No wonder they booted his ass.
That's a good point.
I'm tired of it. Like, anybody that says Kenny Pickett should have stayed in and played the rest of the game, I disagree highly. Because Daniel McKee, I swear to you, could have been a lot better than that. You think so? Or is that just the hype of QB3, bro? No, man, no. You can see with your eyes. Pickett couldn't fucking do a damn thing. No, he couldn't. His life. And the defense gifted him 5 turnovers. Still 3 and 16 on 3rd and outs. Yeah, 3 and 16. Like, okay, like. All right, Abe, here's a question for you. Did the defense play good today? No. Absolutely not. Five takeaways. There was a little twig running down the fucking middle of the field the whole damn time. I was getting so pissed. Not a single person could get a hand on him. All you had to do was get him by the goddamn shoulder. Yeah, there were some missed tackles on that play, boy. Man. And then damn refs was siding with the goddamn commies, of course. And what you expect. All right, so did this loss did it change anything for you, or are you like me? You feel nothing about it? Nothing at all. Like in the first quarter, Jalen was torching him. Like what? They got a fumble on Brian Robinson. Jalen Carter got that fumble on him. Yeah, he showed him who's boss. Like, we knew who. Jalen Carter's a beast, but he's got to rein it in, man. You can't cost us penalties. Yeah, and he pushed that dude on Josh Sweat. That's what got him out. He got injured the whole time, and that's why he was out. Josh Sweat, I didn't get any update on Josh Sweat. Is Josh Sweat going to be all right? He was good. He came back in the fourth quarter, but he did come in. I didn't even see him come back in on the fourth quarter. I know a couple other guys on defense returned. Well, all right, brother. What's your final thoughts on the game today? It was a weird one. 36-33. Birds lose. Commanders go to 10-5. Their first 10-win seasons in 2012. Congrats to you, James Jones, in the chat. Well, I mean, I felt honestly when I was saying about situational play calling, it goes to the point of discipline. You know, like not a single person was known their like it seemed like they was lost. The entire game after Jalen went down, it was like everybody didn't know what to do. The coaches, the players, like the attitude went out the door. It was like nobody knew how to play. That's why I said like that should not be happening. If one person goes down, the next person should step up and there should be no mess up. That's why Stout really is doing a good job with the O line.
Yeah.
But everybody else needs to step it up. Like Clint Hurd, I don't know what the hell is your problem. Get him in check because we
gotta discipline these guys, man.
And then Mitchell.
I'm not gonna beat him up for it.
No, I'm gonna beat him up for it. No.
All right, you're better man.
Going to get by.
He just read it wrong, man. I think Olsen nailed it on the call. He's like he thought a slant was coming. He committed to the slant, locked his hips in, and once Terry went to the corner, he was burnt toast.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first time we can say this year that Quinyon Mitchell was officially a piece of burnt toast.
I saw that. I said
he wasn't even a piece of toast, Dave. You know when you open a fresh loaf of bread and there's the end and nobody wants the end? Yeah, that's what Quinyon was. You burnt that in the toaster, and then that's what Quinyon was on that play. All right, brother. I appreciate you joining in, man. I'll talk to you again soon, all right?
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Go Birds.
All right, go Birds. Appreciate you, Abe. Good stuff there. Let's get to Bob Brown. I'm going to roll through quick, all right, everybody? So short, succinct, to the point, all right? I believe in all of you. Let's do it. Bob Brown joining me now. What's up, Bob? How you feeling on this December 22nd with the Christmas tree on the back? You got the red MAGA hat on. You're looking good. You feeling good, Bob?
There's some good things to take away from today's game, Zander, and there's some things that we need to be a little concerned about, and we'll go with the good.
All right.
You might not like Pickett, but he got some real reps with live bullets. So if we need him in the last 7 games of the season, the last 2 in the playoffs, he will not be coming in cold. So that's a good thing.
Right.
We win 10 in a row. It's got to be hard for the coaches to be finding things to climb on top of the players to keep them motivated. I think that problem was just solved. I would not want to be in Coach Stout's meeting room during the week after the running game got shut down. So he has a new focus. He's going to be on top of those guys to figure out. I mean, I know they're putting 6 and 7 guys in the box.
I know.
But Stout doesn't care about that.
I know, but it shows you how important Jalen is when it comes to the run.
Well, yeah, and I said it 2 weeks ago. You can run the ball until all of a sudden you can't run the ball. And then what do you do with that? Okay. The big thing about Jalen was this. Jalen has the ability to extend drives. He helps us keep the time of possession. We didn't have the time of possession, at least in the second half, because we had a lot of 3 and outs. So our defense had to play quicker and get on the field quicker than they're used to doing over the last 7 or 8 weeks. Okay. So they didn't handle it well. Q gets, as you said, he was the burnt heel in the toaster. He's probably going to have a little bit more of a focus now too, because I'm sure that his position coach is going to get up on him because everybody reads their clippings. He's been a great player. Yeah. The downside to this game to me is this: Jalen not knowing how to slide and the commitment to the RPO and now getting a concussion might take Heckle and Jekyll in the boardroom and start pushing back for we need to have a more traditional offense. This is why we didn't want to run the RPO. I can hear it already. Right. We need this kid to stand and deliver. He's not a stand and deliver guy. He has to learn how to slide. I know there's there's bad times for turnovers, right? Red zone, no turnover. You're in your own goalpost shadow. Don't have a turnover. If Jalen has to lower his shoulder and go. But there was no reason at that stage of the game where he had to go head first.
I know.
That's what he's comfortable doing. So that's something he has to work on. We just have to, he's got to come back for the Cowboys. Okay, he's got to be ready to go. That's fine. If not, we got Pickett all week. And then anybody who wants to see Tanner McKee, you're going to get to see him. Okay, but this game doesn't do anything other than hopefully give a team that won 10 in a row a kick in the ass to say on any given day, we can lose. And at least we get to play next week. If we lose in 3 weeks, we don't get to play again. And as you and I have said week after week, unless you win the last game played of this season, it doesn't matter. Okay. And last week we played the Steelers, right? We play up to our team. We play down to certain teams. My nephew TJ come on last week, big Steeler fan. Now I know what it's like to be a Steeler fan. I had to watch the pig vomit that Kenny Pickett was. Okay. So for a short second, I was a Steeler fan. He's there. He's watching again this week. My brother Tom, with his receding hairline, is watching. I'm sure my mom's up there having Christmas.
You and me both. And I'm 26. I hope that makes you feel better about it.
He's a lot older than 26, but he's got also a lot of miles on those tires. So, God likes certain people better, Zander, and he takes their hair away.
Ain't that the truth, Bob?
I cut mine, brother, and it keeps growing back because God really likes me. Okay. But no, there's really nothing to be upset about this game about. Discipline's an issue. Absolutely. Yeah, but you have to find that fine line of how do we discipline them without taking away the fire? Okay. I look at that Jalen Carter. You're going to catch a flag for going over the line. I'm okay with that. Try not to extend a drive, and sure as hell don't do it in the red zone. Don't get kicked out of the game.
Right.
CJ. To me, CJ's all about Eve. He's hit and miss. He likes to talk. He got himself thrown out of the game, but the guy next man up wasn't ready to go. So we need Sidney Brown to be able to play. McCullough's played okay, but today he was bad.
He was bad today.
Today he was bad. There were other weeks, 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks, he didn't play bad. This week, thrown into action, he wasn't good. Our depth is going to be tested in the next couple of weeks. The good thing is we have the Cowboys. And then we have the Giants. So, and I think we can take the 2105 for Saquon. We can put that away so we don't have to worry about it. And again, if he goes out next week and runs for 250 yards against the Cowboys and he can break that against the Giants, then I want him to break it against the Giants.
What's he up to now after today? Do you any idea?
At one point he had 125, but then he was -3, -2. I don't know what he ended up with.
He had 150 on the day today. So we're definitely giving away the jersey, but I think he's up to 18 plus. I think he had 1680. So he's probably up to.
So he would need to go out next week and run for 2 bills to give him a legitimate shot against the Giants to warrant keeping him in the game for 2105. And if he does that, then that's okay. But again, if you ask me, what do you want? 2105 or the Super Bowl? It's not really a question that needs to be answered.
Next question, Bob. Next freaking question.
You move on from it. But again, any given Sunday, every team can lose. There's some teams like the Steelers that are used to it more than others. Okay. But we just need to go out the next 2 weeks, take care of business, have a little luck. Okay. Keep everybody healthy. Some of the backups will get in there. I don't understand, Zander, why do we go to a Wildcat? I don't understand that. That was like, we don't know what to do because we're supposed to have number 1 under center. So let's just figure something. That was like Sandlot garbage.
It's exactly what that was.
Okay. And listen, Kenny Pickett might not get a lot of reps, but I'm sure he gets red zone reps during the week because you have a red zone package. And if they don't have a red zone package designed for the skills or limited skills that Kenny Pickett has, and you have to go to a Wildcat, that's a coaching issue. That's a coaching issue that needs to be resolved. But can't worry about it. We have to now focus on the next 2 weeks, hit the ground running in the playoffs, hope that the Bucs end up with somebody else because that gorilla is still on our back. And we'll say it like last year. This was not a bad loss like the San Francisco loss was last year. But this team now has to show that they can get up off the mat after putting our string of wins together. San Francisco punched us in the face and put us to bed last year for the rest of the season. I don't think this loss was that, but now you're going to see where the veteran leadership on this team is that says, okay, we got next game up, let's roll. And I don't think that's a Nick job. I don't think Nick has that in him. That's going to be the veterans. That's going to be a Lane thing. Okay. Hopefully Zach Bond he's got a little bit of a voice in there. They made a point today to say, Zach Bond was one of the best steals in the NFL season. He's playing on a nothing contract and he's playing like a Pro Bowler. I hope Howie was listening to that.
Bob, good stuff, brother. Any final thought real quick? I got to run, but
I appreciate your time. Have a Merry Christmas to you and yours, and we will talk on the other side of Santa.
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas to you, brother. I appreciate you.
All right, brother. Take care.
Later, man. Good stuff from Bob Brown, as always. Appreciate Bob joining the show. Got a couple people here still in the green room ready to get to. Appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Hit that like button for me. What are we at on the likes? Where are we at on that? I don't have it open. At 260, that's not bad. 270, that's not bad, but I guess you lose the game. People don't want to hit that like button. That's all right. All right, Anton, I'm coming to you, brother. You were up next. What's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Hey, man, long time no see.
Yeah, lost today after their 10th straight win. What'd you make of it?
Look, honestly, I kind of felt a bit like bad after that game. For like my heart rate was up. I just couldn't get it down for like maybe about a good 20, 30 minutes after that. Because look, it was a bit of a shocker, to be honest. And look, unfortunately, we ended up losing the ball game. But man, I know there's so much to unpack today in that game. And look, I don't have to say it. You said it already about Jalen's impact on the team. And this is, maybe I haven't articulated it quite well, and I needed an example for you guys to see, if you guys understand kind of my point on the whole Jalen Hurts thing. Like, the impact he brings to the game more than just your passing yards, and how he extends drives and the threat of him being there. Look, like, honestly, today, Washington just stacked the box on Saquon for about 3 quarters. That for me was frustrating. But look, Bob Brink makes a really good point earlier about the Wildcat. That for me tells me that the Eagles had zero faith in Kenny Pickett whatsoever. Like,
that's the correct takeaway.
Yeah, look, I think we're going to be a good team. We're going to be good this season. Like, I think we'll be good in the end. But yeah, we're not going to have home field now. I don't think it's going to be very, very unlikely that we get home field. And look, Smitty, like I said, it wasn't just Smitty. We had a lot of drops today. It was, I think AJ had a couple.
AJ had a drop, yep.
Like, you think about it, AJ today was targeted 15 times and for 8 receptions. So, like,
15 targets is wild. That was Kenny. Kenny just came out. He said, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm just going to throw the ball to A.J. Brown. That's what it felt like to me, which I can't.
I know.
But
look, my takeaway, by the way, on the Hurts thing, like the injury, I don't know why, but I felt like when I found out the news, I'm like, you know what? At least it's a concussion. I had a fear the whole year.
I weirdly felt the same thing. Like, it's not a broken knee or something where he's
right.
The
whole year, you're like, because you remember like the Carson Wentz year. Like, to be honest, I don't want to have an injury where Jalen Hurts is gone for the whole time. So at least, right? No, so at least it's just a concussion, which means that he will be back and he'll be playing in the playoffs for us for sure. So, look, I think this is a good football team. We had everything stacked against them. I think the referees today were awful. I don't want to sound like an excuse maker, but I just think there were so many. Like, it kind of felt like it was like at one point I said when I was watching the game, I'm like, despite the refs doing all they can to screw this up, despite Jayden Daniels tearing us up, like, we still may have been 10 seconds away from winning the game. Like, despite all that. So, yeah, look, it's a heartbreaker, and I wanted to beat them. But I want to say, finish off. I'll let you go, but I finish off on this. The Washington Commanders better be careful with their post-game talk. I saw on their Twitter post, EAGLES.
Oh, did they? Are they trolling?
Yeah,
I didn't see it because I've been on the show.
I'm like, you know what, guys? We might see you guys in 3 weeks' time, and we're going to remember. I've already taken some screenshots of their social media posts. So I
don't see them as a team ready to compete late in January, but will see.
They got so damn lucky today. They shouldn't be walking around with puffing their chest out. Like, we're missing a quarterback.
Listen, a win's a win, right, brother? So you got to give them. You got to let them do it. But all right, brother, I appreciate you joining today. I'll talk to you probably next week. Right, man?
All right, cool. See you, man.
All right, thanks, man. Good stuff there from Anton. Checking in. Got a couple more. Got riding the bench coming to you, brother. Then Mad Max. Then Dio. Jason 18, are you in, brother? I see your camera, but it's frozen up. All right, you're in. So I'll get to you in a little bit too, brother. All right, just hang tight for me. Riding the bench coming to you, brother. Dio, I see you, man. I got you. All right, man. Let's go to Riding the Bench. Joining me now here on the post-game show. What's going on, my friend? How you feeling after the Birds lose their first game in 11 games, brother?
All right, yeah. You got to lose at some point. I'd rather lose now than later on in the year, right? We won 10 straight. Backup quarterback was in. which, ironically enough, I thought he played just fine as a backup. I know he was 3 for 16 on third down, but he's a backup. It's Kenny Pickett.
He's a
What do you
backup.
want he's a backup. That's exactly what you would think a backup was going to do. He put the ball in Devontae's hands. He dropped it. It is what it is. And ironically, we ran the Wildcat in the red zone when the best Kenny Pickett looked all day was when he initially came in the red zone.
I know.
I'm surprised we just didn't let him just run an offense there. But, it is what it is. A loss was going to happen at some point. I'd rather it be in December as opposed to, January and February. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
What do you make of the defense? Did they play good today or did they play bad? They had 5 takeaways, but they gave up 5 touchdown passes. Where are you on that topic?
Listen, this Fangio defense, it's designed for the offense to make a mistake and take, advantage of that. And it works when you run the ball and limit the opposing offense's ability. So getting all these 3 and outs and all that, you get more bites at the apple. You're going to get, you're going to get yardage. You're going to put
like Sileo said, you got more chances, so the takeaways mattered less each one.
Exactly. And also personnel was an issue, right? So, I thought they played just fine considering they were on the field so much. And look, all year they've been spectacular. I'm not going to kill them for 1 week. I'm just not, so everyone wants to kill the defense. I think you need to pump the brakes on that. They've been one of the main reasons where, the number 2 seed all year. So
agreed, 100%. All right, brother. I appreciate you joining, man. Good talking with you. I'll catch up with you next week. All right, brother.
Take care.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Good stuff there from Riding the Bench. Check him out. We appreciate him for checking in on the show today. Let's go to Mad Max. Then I'm coming to Dio coming up next. Mad Max, what's going on, my friend? How you feeling, brother?
Good, man. We're a little heartbroken, just a little heartbroken, but hoping for the best, man.
What'd you make of it, man? What'd you make of it today?
Surprisingly, I've been opposite of you, protecting Kellen all year, but I honestly feel that this had a lot to do with Kellen. I'll get on the defense here in a second, but if your backup comes in that first quarter, does what he does in the red zone, scores, midway through the second quarter, you pull the plug. I did not see not one play action. You're loading them up that way, running the ball all game. The way you help your quarterback up, hit him with the play action, hit him over the top. I didn't see no tush push. You went on 3rd and 1, didn't run a tush push. That was an opportunity for you to run it back to back, call a timeout, kick the field goal, or even extend the drive. You didn't do it. They just being too conservative. I mean, it was the quarterback showed you that he could sling it.
When Kenny got in the game, they coached scared.
They played absolutely scared, and the kid showed you that he could throw it. The timing was there with AJ from the first throw. Him hitting the slants, throwing it in tight windows. I had a feeling, I was saying it earlier last week, Marshawn's going to follow AJ. I think it benefited us a little bit having Kenny in there because the windows were a lot tighter. I don't think Jalen would have pulled the trigger. He would have went away from AJ.
Because I think you make a good point, but don't you think the defense would have had to play it a little bit different with Jalen Hurts? Like, they were able to stack the box and then just leave Marshawn on AJ because it's like, I'm going to make Kenny beat me through the air and we're going to take out Saquon. I don't think you can do that with Jalen because he could run the ball so well.
In a way, I feel like Kenny still has wheels. I feel like that being an OC.
He's got wheels.
He does. But being an OC, you seeing that in the box, that edge and them backers are collapsing down on Saquon, pull the zone read, start pulling the ball, have them take up on the other side, and you can have them respect it. And at the same time, you can start running boots. You didn't run it not once, and it was there for you to be ran. And being conservative as a defense, once you keep seeing that ball getting dropped down into the stomach, you're not going to step back at all. You're just going to keep shooting them gaps, shooting for the run because you're not keeping it honest. As soon as they drop back, okay, it's a pass, we're going to just step back. There was no balance to it. You just kept going conservative. Defensively, I think we played a great game. Our players got in their own way. CJ, GJ, I mean, you see that you was barking in somebody's face in front of the ref. They knock your helmet off. Okay, it's going to be one of them games. Let me shut up and let me handle business and just play defense. You took yourself out of the game, regardless if the ref did it, kicked you out the game for the wrong reasons. You did it to yourself. You already seen what kind of game they were calling. And you got to have self-control. And that's a testament to Nick Sirianni as well. Having control of your defense, having control of your offense and your team. It's called, sadly to say, it's no discipline right there when it comes to the head coach and having control of his team. And I've been backing them all year. And I saw that today I seen it, and I gotta call a spade a spade. When it came to that OC and Nick Sirianni having control of the team. And defensively, I mean, I love Vic Fangio and what he did, but CJ comes out. There's no way in hell that McCullum's a better safety than Sidney Brown.
I know.
I've seen 2 plays.
What is this infatuation with McCullum?
I don't know. I wish I could understand on that 3rd and what was it? 3rd and 14.
Yeah.
Jayden Daniels breaks up the middle. He runs right by McCullum. I mean, you got a chance to smack him right in the mouth. You don't. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, Sidney Brown ain't hurt. Yeah, he jumped off sides. I mean, he jumped early on that kickoff. But I don't think he's a better safety than Sidney Brown, not at all.
Physical player, that's for sure, Sidney Brown.
Right. And I feel like if he was in there at that moment, he could have made the stop and caused the 4th down. We could cause a turnover or punt the ball. I mean, it was more coaching than anything. Kenny did not lose the game. I think Kenny made all the great plays that he can, especially throwing it down deep, causing pass interferences. Them kind of plays, I don't think Jalen will pull the trigger on that. You know, those are deep throws down the field late. And I don't think he would be able to do it. I think he did good in the pocket. There was a couple plays where he stepped up in the middle instead of rolling out that caused a sack. But all in all, I mean, I feel like his time and anticipation was pretty damn good. And his arm, I mean, it showed. I mean, I think he did a good job, especially on the final 2 drives. He got us down there. The run game was stopped, and him using the arm got us down there for the field goal. And on the drive where Smitty dropped the ball, he was moving it down the field as well. I just think that's something more to Kellen Moore.
Did this game change your perspective on Jalen Hurts at all? Like with his impact on the game and how valuable he is to the team?
No, it really changed my impact of Kellen Moore being able to adjust through the game. I was really high on him, but I just don't see him adjusting as much as he should throughout the game, like Vic does on the defensive side.
Right.
He comes in with a game plan and he sticks with it. And hey, if it hits, it hits, and it don't, it don't. You know, I don't think that is a testament to Jalen Hurts. I mean, Marshawn, we seen in the first couple drives where Jalen was in when they attacked Marshawn with AJ. It wasn't there. They went away from it. I mean, we couldn't see obviously the rest of the game if he was going to keep going with it or what he was going to do. I would like to see it, but no, I think it was. I can't say there's a change on Jalen or anything like that. No, I can't.
All right, bro. I got one question left for you. Can I get
sir.
some of that hair, brother? Can you send me some of that hair? You got hair like I've never seen. I'm balding at 26, man. That's impressive stuff.
Hey, man, I can send you the recipe I use. I'm 31. I'm blessed to keep having the hair this way, man.
Yeah, man, that's good, bro. Looks good. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining today.
Yes, sir. You as well, brother. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, man. I appreciate you. Good stuff there from Mad Max, man. Like talking to Mad Max. Like talking to everybody. Everybody's got some good takes today. Appreciate all you guys. Make sure I got all my supers up to speed here. All right. Appreciate it, everybody. Here we go. Dio coming to you next, my man. Dio coming to you next. What's going on, Dio? How you feeling, brother? You got the Santa hat on, the Eagles Santa hat on. You feeling good, I can tell.
I am. Well, I got the eggnog as well. So cheers to you and you guys.
I need some eggnog.
Thank you, guys.
What'd you think of the game? And they lost for the first time in 11 games.
And think about it. Indeed. And they were one Devontae Smith drop pass away from winning that game and closing it out. Even though, like everyone else said, the refs almost piled it on them. I hate to be that person as well to kind of blame the refs.
Yeah.
This year it really does seem like the refs kind of are against us in a way. I feel like that as the Eagles fan for a long time. It's like even when we've had great defenses and great teams, it always seems like we're a bit arrogant about it. The refs don't like our fans, to some degree maybe. So they kind of lean the other way if they can when they see something. That's but
that's
normally we're good.
That's the Philly in you, Dio.
Indeed, but it's there a lot. I mean, you see some evidence of it on tape.
I know,
like
but
today.
it is all over the league. That's the problem with it. Refs suck. They suck. They suck.
There was, how many they called 8 penalties against the Eagles in the first half, 2 against the other guys.
Yeah,
and
but
a lot of them were ticky-tack fouls, man.
Are you going to sit here and tell me that, as an Eagle fan, that all of those pass interference calls on Marshawn Lattimore were good calls?
I agree. Some came back in the end, and they also got better about it after the first half. The first half was egregious, and when Hurts was in there and we were dominating him, moving up and down the field without anything, they seemed like they were calling much more ticky-tack stuff. Right. The stuff with CJ was in that time too. Dude, I'm an attorney from a past life. I'm a shellfish farmer now in the Pacific Northwest. hoping to see you guys at some of the playoff games if we have a home one. I'm going to try to come to Philly for those this year, and if we make it to the Super Bowl as well. But which I still think we will. But dude, there's fighting words sometimes. Like if you drop an N-bomb on someone and they punch you, that's most judges will look at that and say that's fair. That guy gets to punch you for dropping the N-bomb, right? There are certain insults that you can say, but most of them revolve around something like that. Otherwise, a battery always takes out an assault. When an assault is like the verbal abuse versus kind of a battery. For the player to not have control of themselves and reach across and hit DJ and take his helmet off, tell me how many times you don't always see the second punch, the punch that comes out anything. It has to be the second punch. The first guy actually punched, though. This wasn't a punch, man. This was an assault. There's no way anywhere that would normally hold up in a sense, man. It was, that side of it for me was just kind of egregious. Stepping back and looking at it, like even from outside, like the football world, and looking at normal world kind of stuff that goes with it, right, man? But again, I don't want to get into the ref stuff because that's not who I am. We should have still won this game, and we would have won this game.
Went into it, my friend. I hate to tell you, but you can't say that after you go into it.
But I don't want to count that as an excuse, man. I think there are facts out there and that you could point to and say,
that's fine.
Hey, all these things are there, but we should have still won that game, and we still won a bunch of games.
You a Kenny Pickett truther? You sound like a Kenny Pickett truther.
Nah, but that's my next point, really. So I'm glad you brought it up. No one, and you had Stills on the ropes. I loved it earlier. No one can say that Hurts isn't important. His importance to this team, and no one really can say after this game that anyone can win with that offensive power and our defense. Because obviously Kenny Pickett can't do it, and he only had to pay for 3 quarters, and they already put up 21 points almost for him, right? I mean, come on, he didn't really score.
No, he had 7 when he went in the game.
Yeah,
7.
Well, but.
He got the ball in the red zone, and then he got it into the end zone. But getting the ball in the red zone doesn't guarantee
Barkley. But your biggest point on that was that the you said it though, right? The defense bit on the Kenny Pickett fake run. The only reason why they did that was because Hurts had just been in. I mean, if they hadn't been coached so hard to bite on that run, Barkley doesn't make that. So I mean, Hurts' effect, even though he wasn't in the game, was still there, and Kenny Pickett doesn't get that 7 points from Barkley. But anyway, the other thing is that goes hand in hand with that. You have those 21 points in the first quarter that we had, 22 points in the fourth quarter by these stinking commies, dude. That is awful. And and that goes back to the, I think they're, like you said, the defense of somewhat schizophrenic here. That was awful. But then with DJ not in there, I deliberately led to those things. You had Macaulay, I forget his name, the safety that came in for him. He had several missed tackles. Then he gave up the touchdown too, right, in the end zone when he was completely off coverage. That was like, I mean, if CJ's in there, or maybe even Brown's in there, like the guy with the hair, which I could use some too if he's going to send some around, man. That's why I wear the hats all the time too. But I am 53 now, so. But anyway, the safety thing might be the bigger issue for us. If we can't find a safety that can come in and play, and we need for a third safety, I think that might be one of the bigger issues that we have. It seems like cornerbacks are pretty good. The rest of the defense is pretty good. If they don't get kind of out of character, and like you said, it was kind of a bit undisciplined. With special teams, and the O-line was also bad, which is not very good. But even you take all those things into effect, we were still one drop Devontae Smith pass away from winning this game, just like in another game that we lost by 1 drop pass too, by one of our best players. I'm not saying that changes this game, but it is how good we are, and we can't lose sight of that going forward. This team is going to recover from this, and just like you guys are the best in the business. Hopefully, they're going to keep being the best, and we'll see each other for an NFC Championship game. In Philadelphia, and all
right, brother. I appreciate you joining.
I had one question for you too, though. Do you mind? Do you have time?
Yeah, go for it.
So what do you? It's kind of a follow-up for the five best defenses that we talked about before. How many games do you think that that's the really question on this? How many games do you think the Eagles would have lost last year based on the defense performance, like in the final, the final, what was it? 10-1, and then we went 1-6 in the end, and that final was like 6-game losing.
What are you asking? How many of them would we have won?
Yeah, sorry, I said by. Yeah, how many of those games do you think we actually lost because of the defense in that, as opposed to the offensive play?
I don't know off the top of my head because I'd have to rewatch them, but I'd say half.
Yeah, probably at least. So think about that with the defense now. How many games do you think we're going to lose this year because of that?
Yeah,
even with this against the
scenario now, though. I mean, it's a different scenario. I think last year, looking back, yeah, he could have probably, but like you saw today, I mean, if one thing goes wrong in a playoff game, you don't care about the number one defense anymore. The fucking team is out, you know? So it all depends on how the ball goes. But all right, bro, I appreciate it. I got to run. All right, man.
Indeed. Thank you, man. As always.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good stuff there from DL. Willie, thanks for becoming a member, bro. It's really cool of you. You're officially entered in on the Christmas. I got all sorts of giveaways we're going to do, so make sure you guys stay tuned all week, all right? And if you're not a member, get your memberships in. Costs only $5 a month. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But if you do want to support the channel, you like the content, it goes a long way. So Matt NG, he says I look glazed. Matt, I'm not glazed. I'm working, brother. James Jones, he's a member. I got to get you the link, James. I'll get you in a second, all right? O-line Guru, coming to you, brother. You there, brother? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted, bro.
Can you hear me now?
I got you now, man. I got you now. How you feeling, brother?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
Tough loss today. First one in 11 games. What do you make of it, man?
We're fine.
I agree.
We're fine. I've been saying this all year, and it's looking like it could come to that. The only thing I'm worried about, I'm not even worried about them. I just don't want to go to Detroit. I know it's looking into the future, but that's the only thing I'm worried about. I don't want to go to Detroit in the third round.
I don't think it's out of the equation, Guru, to say Detroit could get the 1 seed and they could get knocked out before we have to play them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to play the Vikings, maybe the Packers, maybe. They're going to have one of those teams in the NFC. The NFC playoffs is actually turning up to be. There's some pretty good teams in there, man. Everybody's playing good football or good enough football right now to upset somebody else. So I'm not too down about the number 2 seed, dude. I don't really care all that much. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's if
Detroit was humming today, weren't they?
You said what?
They were humming today. I didn't catch their whole game.
Bro, it's like they lose people, bro, and they want to make a statement.
I know.
But it's like this is the thing though. Because I'm critical of them, but my eyes don't lie, man. Man on the mountain, my eyes don't lie, man. They look good. That's the only team I don't want to go to in the playoffs. If you tell me we don't go to Detroit, I know we're going to the Super Bowl. If you tell me we go to Detroit, it could be a fight.
It will be. I think it will. I think it definitely will
be a fight, man. If Detroit come to us, I think it could get ugly for Detroit. It's just at Detroit again to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's going to be a fight for anybody.
Yeah,
but
sure.
like you said, though,
out today that concerned you, like for late defense, maybe. I don't care about the offense today. You lose your starting quarterback. I mean, what do we expect here? You know, you lost your starting quarterback. Yeah. You know, I don't know what to think of the defense today with 5 takeaways, and then Jayden Daniels also had 5 touchdown passes. What did you make of it?
I understand the 5 takeaways. Just watching the game, Daniels seems as if he had his way a little bit with us. Jayden Daniels a baller though, man. I think he's just a hooper. That's one of them people that you just got to watch out for.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of came down to that. The time that we had a minute and a half left, as soon as he dropped the ball, I was watching the game with my homie, and he even said, one of my old college teammates, and I told him, I'm like, Jayden Daniels gonna come down. It was one of them games. It was one of them games that we couldn't have let it happen. Just by the rhythm of the game, I could kind of tell he was in rhythm too much. He was breaking runs with his legs.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he looks real good. They came in to play today. That's okay. And
we're gonna have a good rivalry. Doesn't it feel like we're gonna have a good rivalry with them for the next foreseeable future? They finally got a quarterback in Washington. It looks like, at least right now, that we might have a good battle.
They could definitely be the number 2 for a while, man. Jayden Daniels, he's solid, man. I liked him, and I liked him at the beginning. Even when we beat him in the beginning, I know that's just a dangerous team, and it's the NFL. You can lose each single week. They're a dangerous team. Now, I'm not worried about them. If Jalen Hurts would have played, it would have been a different story. I know you said not so much the offense. Kenny Pickett looked all right. It looked as if we have a comfortable backup and cool with Kenny Pickett. That's all right there. Smitty should have caught the ball. I think we all know that. I ain't tripping on Smitty. Smitty done bailed us out 1,000,000 times. It is what it is. He got to catch the ball, but he dropped it. Now, I do be thinking all the time, man, we are dropped from Saquon and Smitty away from a one-loss team. Like, that matters, man, but Like I said, we'll see how it goes in the playoffs. I'm not really worried about him. I haven't been.
Yeah, I said on the show, I feel nothing from that. I really don't. I mean, other than analyzing the game because it's my job, and right now I don't feel any differently about this team's chances to win it all after this game.
Nah, I've been bragging about this a little bit, ever since second half of the Cleveland game. I've been very confident. I've been feeling like we're going to go to the Super Bowl. I think that we got a lot of, I keep calling them hoopers, man, people that can play ball, gamers. Just because they're not the most flashy, they're still gamers. They can win the game. We got a lot of good gamers on our team. And I think that we can outgame the Lions. It's just at Detroit, the margin of error is going to be really slim, I feel like.
It definitely is.
That's how I feel. I feel like we can get on Detroit soon, make Jared Goff turn into Joe Montana, then maybe we good. You know what I'm saying? Like, then maybe we good, man. You got anything else from that? Any other questions from what I've seen or anything like that?
Nah, man, I'm good. Anything else you want to add, though, you're welcome to add.
Jalen Hurts not playing did stick out a little bit like a sore thumb. I think Kellen Moore could have did a little bit better with some adjustments. I think that we should have did more design runs with Kenny Pickett. I was surprised we didn't do a little bit more design runs with Kenny
Pickett. Runs with Kenny Pickett? That's what you wanted to see?
Kenny Pickett was getting out of there, man. Not when I say design runs.
Good night.
When I say design runs, I mean a lot of them handoffs to Saquon, it just was no threat on the backside. And they played it like there was no threat, especially from an offensive guy. As a former center, you just know.
That's why Saquon got bottled up. They had
there was no threat. And I just feel like even Kenny Pickett a few times skirted out of there. I'm like, he's definitely comparable enough just to make the threat there. Just tell him to pull it a couple times. We ran RPO a few times and it worked. Even the time that AJ dropped it, but it worked. It was open. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think that we should have ran a little bit more RPO with him, just a little bit. But besides that, man, I think we're fine. We did kind of need this win, though. I'm not gonna say we needed the number 1 seed, but I think it would have been a huge game changer. I mean, I don't want to say that we can't undervalue that, but I'm so sincere. I think all Philly needs to be like us not having the number 1 seed drastically changes the playoff possibilities. Just because I'm cool with the first and second round, that's all cool. Third round, there's only one place we can't go. I don't care if we can go anywhere else. I don't want to go to Detroit. I'm not scared to play Detroit. I just don't want to play.
Yeah, it's not your preferred place. I agree with that. All right, brother, I got to run. I appreciate you, man.
Killing it, bro.
See you, bro. Appreciate it. Good stuff there from O-Line Guru. Appreciate him checking in. Got a couple more people. A-Team, I'm going to get to you. Jay the Legend, Akbar's in here. No Limit, and then we got Joe Whip. Joe, good to see you, man. Good to see you checking in a little late. Jay the Legend, let's get to you. All right, brother, you're next. And then Jason, A-Team, coming to you next. Then Akbar. All right, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
What's going on, Xander?
How you feeling, brother? First loss in 11 games, man. I forgot what it felt like to lose, brother. How you feeling?
You know, we only lost that game because of Jalen Hurts. That would have been a much different game. I don't know what everybody else saw, but it would have been a much different game. It was going to lead. It looked like it was leading up to being a blowout. If Jalen Hurts was in there, because Jalen Hurts impacts the whole game. But you got people like your boy Dan Sileo making it like Jalen Hurts don't have. He opens up everything. Like, that's one of the reasons why Saquon about to be a 2,000-yard back, because it impacted Jalen Hurts in the offensive line. Jalen Hurts, when he's in there along with the offensive line, a dominant offensive line, he's a threat to run it and pass it. So that opens up everything. So the floodgates. But people don't act like they don't understand that. That's what kills me.
I agree. I agree with you. I don't think you're far off. It was very obvious today that when Jalen's not in there, you can play Saquon and the Eagles offense differently. What'd you make of the defensive performance today? It was a weird one. You give up 5 touchdown passes, but you also have 5 takeaways. They're most yards they've given up in a while. What'd you make of the defense today, Jay?
I thought the defense was still good, but the CJ Garner going getting put out, that was a major blow. I think that set the table. That threw us all the way back, and then you had the liability of McCullough. He looked at like garbage. They should put that shit on the ground, and it just didn't make no sense how he was blowing coverages all day. He was blowing coverages, and I seen Slay. He was starting to let people get behind him. Like, that's what they got on. That's why people target Slay. He saw, because he's trying to cheat instead of staying to the plan. That's thing by him. And to get back on Jalen Hurts, we 0-3 without Jalen Hurts. Far as win-loss ratio. But
0-3? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 0-3. Yeah, Jalen Hurts haven't missed that many games. He only missed 3. Yeah,
he didn't miss any games.
Yeah, he haven't missed any. Yeah,
no, he didn't miss any games.
He missed the. No, actually.
No,
yeah,
he didn't miss any. You're thinking of that. You're thinking of a 2 year. You're thinking
no. He missed 2 games. 2 games. No,
this year, my friend.
I'm talking about the last time he missed a game was his first year starting. That was the last time he missed.
2022 was the last time he missed a game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, brother. I appreciate you checking in, man. Good takeaways. Your entrance was a good one, man. You were giving me that. Someone put it in here. You were giving me that morning motherfucker smile. I like it, brother. I appreciate it. All right, man. Thank you, bro.
All right.
Later, man. Y'all crack me up, man. You guys crack me up. All right, Jason A-Team, coming to you, brother. My main man. There he is. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you last week. Good to see you soon. I'm sure I'll see you this week to give you your Saquon jersey. What are you thinking after that loss, brother?
Like you, I think it's like it didn't move me one way or the other. I wanted to point out that, Jomo, number 97, he was running around like a linebacker out there. Pretty impressive.
He's a good player, man. He's a good player.
I voted him to be like an underdog for this year. So
you're eating your soup. You're eating your cake a little bit on that.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. What jersey are you rocking right now? You rocking that Nakobe Dean still? Yeah, you like that jersey. You like that black. I like that.
The black. It's clean.
Yeah, the black jersey.
I need to get a white one.
All right. Any takeaways on the defense today, bro? Did you think that was a problem? They had 5 takeaways, but they did give up a lot of touchdowns. What'd you think?
Takeaways were good. I thought Slade played pretty well.
Slade does play good. Yeah.
He made some plays. He got that pickup off the fumble and then batted the other one, the blanket chip that he picked off. So I thought he did pretty well. Mignon got beat a little bit, but I don't think that's too much. It was bound to happen,
Yeah. All right, brother. I appreciate it, man. Any other takeaways on the game before I let you run?
No, I just think Hurts is more important than we realize. He just knows the offense better, I think. Maybe if Pickett had more time and got to practice and stuff, maybe he'd do better. But I don't know. It wasn't too bad. I'm not a Pickett fan either. So.
I'm not a Pickett guy.
Hopefully Jalen comes back.
Yeah, he'll be back. All right, brother. I appreciate you joining in, man. I'll catch up with you soon. All right, bro.
Yeah, man. Have a good one, guys.
All right, thanks, Jason. Good stuff from Jason A-Team, the legend here. All right, I got a couple more. I got Akbar, No Limit. I got 2 No Limits in here. I think only one of them's working. I see one of them. The other one's a black screen, so I'm assuming one of them works. And then I got Joe Whip. So I'll get to everybody before we get out of here. Akbar joining me now. Akbar, it's dark and I can barely see you, my friend. But how you feeling after this L today? Are you muted, brother? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I got you a little bit. You're still a little light, but
damn, this some bullshit.
I got you now. You're good.
What a crazy day. Anyway, I take away
you're back. You're back
from the defense, dog.
You're going in and out, dude.
Can you hear me?
I got you, but you're going in and out. Go ahead.
Oh my God. This some bullshit.
Relax. Deep breath. I got you. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're good now.
You got me?
I got you, but there's no promise that it won't go out. But
I'll take away from the game with the 35 points on the defense. Like the defense. I know Jalen Hurts went out, but the defense. I used to the defense. We've been talking about this for like 2-3 months. Like the defense is good for 18, no less than 17 points. So what the hell is going on here? Like they were supposed to come off with that one. Can you hear me?
I got you. Yep.
Yeah, they were supposed to come off with that one. But other than that, though, Other than that, I ain't mad about the win. I mean the loss. The loss, I'm not mad about that because if you remember, I was telling you I wanted to lose anyway. You know what I mean? Because the reason for that is because the reason for that is because I wanted to see them move when they got to the playoffs. Because he was winning at nauseam. Just winning. And it's like, yo, like how can he? So now at this point, the Super Bowl is scheduled.
Yeah, you're going in and out of your voice. You got a cig dangling from your mouth. I mean, this is what Akbar. What do we got going on here, man? I'm trying to produce a show, Akbar.
My bad, dog. My bad, man.
I don't know what's going on, man. You're not at your
I had
same
a
spot.
crazy day. I'm gonna tell you about it. I ain't got no time.
I can't even hear you. I can hear every third word.
I had an awful day. Like it was crazy. But anyway.
All right, bro. I gotta go. I can't hear you, my dude. It's not working. It's not working out today, dude.
All right.
All right, brother. I'll catch up with you after next week, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I'll catch up with you. I don't know what's going on with your setup. Akbar no working today. I don't know what's going on. I wasn't trying to kick him off, but I mean, I got to produce some content that people can hear. All right. All right. No limit coming to you, man. You ready? I got you. There he is. What's going on, my man? First time having you on the show. How you doing, brother? You're muted. Bad start, bro. Oh, no. Oh, no. What happened to these people? What happened, No Limit? Oh, my God. You're muted, man. I ain't a lip reader. Oh, my God. Try and rejoin. I'm going to kick your ass out. I'm going to go to Joe Whip. You figure out your mic, and I'll come back to you. All right. No Limit. You're out of here, No Limit. I'm going to Joe Whip, who will I can assure you by the way it looks right now, we will have a better connection with Joe Whip. Let's check him out. Joe, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Hey, Zander.
There you go. Look good, sound good.
Is Akbar down at the Northwest Stadium?
I don't know where he is, man. I don't know where he was.
The internet, boy. That was rough. Almost as rough as watching that game today.
What'd you take away from it, brother?
Well, sorry I was late, but I was out with my 96-year-old mom for dinner.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's more important than me, dude.
So it gave me a chance to cool down.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of stuff I did not like.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. The lack of discipline on guys on defense was absolutely pathetic on so many levels. Okay. Johnson can't keep his fucking mouth shut, and
yeah, it's a big loss, dude. I mean, it's one thing to do that, take a penalty. It's another to get kicked out of the game and you cost your team. I mean,
Chris Tristan, they were picking on him the whole rest of the day. He was missing assignments left and right.
Right.
So that's inexcusable. If I'm the coach, I'm down his throat for what he did on the field. Let's see, where else can we go? Zach Bond didn't have his best day. Inability to drop properly into coverage on the last play and let the guy get behind him. You can't do that. I'm a little curious as to when did they have a rule in the NFL that if someone says some nasty words to you, you can punch him in the mouth and not get a penalty for it. When did they change that rule?
Yeah, you talking about CJ getting popped?
Yeah, the guy almost hit the referee in the head.
I know.
His fist came right past his head. No
I don't
penalty.
know what.
Somebody's got to. That crew is horrible. As soon as I saw that referee, I knew it was going to be a rough day. That crew is notoriously bad. Terrible. I was not happy with the performance of the offensive line. I thought they got pushed around in the second half, even if they're loading the box. There was no room to run.
Yeah, you and Bob went the same route there. He didn't think the O-line had their best day either.
No, they were not good. And Calcaterra is just can I say the P word?
You can say whatever you want.
He played like a pussy.
He
was so bad. It was like, I could have done it. I'm 66 years old. I can get knocked on my ass just as easy as he did. He was going to get the quarterback killed. It was just like, and the other thing is that I didn't like about the way the offense performed when Jalen was, after he was injured. By the way, that was a cheap shot.
From Louisville.
On the ground. There's no question.
Like a helmet to helmet to me. A lot of people said it wasn't, but I thought it was.
No, it wasn't, but it was damn close, and he was already on the ground when the guy. It's almost like a spear. That's a bad play.
I know, but Hurts also has to protect himself too, Joe. You can't just go in there and dive head first, dude. I mean, you're asking yourself for trouble. It's a give and take there, I think.
No, that's true, but it was still a cheap shot.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there.
So some of the stuff I saw, like there was that one play where I almost went through the ceiling here in my theater room off the couch. It was when they left the Pickett went back to pass, and they slid the line to the left, and they left the guy uncovered on the right.
Yeah,
he didn't even look over there.
He didn't even look, dude.
Like, he doesn't have any clue what the hell's going on, what the offensive line scheme's going to be on that play. He should have looked at the guy, and he would have said, "Oh shit, I've got to get rid of the ball, do something else." And so his lack of playing all year, he's just, he wasn't ready to play in that environment.
No.
And they still should have won if Devontae Smith catches that ball.
I know, man.
Think about it. That's 2 games they lost with guys missing balls.
I know.
If I dropped it or you dropped it, we'd be embarrassed.
I know. It's true, man. And sometimes that's what the NFL comes down to. Make the play at the right time and you win the football game, and they weren't able to do it.
So the defense needs to be more disciplined. You saw in the rushes where Daniels got away for big gains. They just left the middle of the line. They just went wide and left him with a huge gaping hole to run through. So they weren't maintaining their gaps on their rushes. There was a lot of stuff I don't mind mistakes. I thought Slay played, other than that one play.
Yeah,
I thought he played pretty well. I thought Mitchell misread it. He thought the guy was going to break in.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that shit happens. I don't mind.
I know.
I don't mind mistakes like that, but the complete lack of discipline just sticks in my craw. And,
and I think I keep thinking back to the Clint Hurt thing, stopping Nick Sirianni. You can say what you want about Nick, but your head coach should be able to discipline any player that he wants at any time. I don't give a fuck who you are. That's how I felt about it.
I agree. And Jalen Carter's got to grow the hell up.
Yeah, I agree.
He acts like he's a 15-year-old out there. Don't do it. Let your play. Just knock the guy on his ass.
I know.
And that call where he pushed that guy, that was really? And then they blew on Daniels early in the game, and they called roughing the passer. And then somebody cleaned Pickett's clock, and nothing. And they're same guys looking
Kenny Pickett ain't earning any calls, Joe Whip. You know that.
No respect at all.
No. Does he deserve it? I don't freaking know, man. I don't know. All right, brother. I appreciate you checking in, man.
All right.
Hey, you got good genetics. You said your mom was how old? 96?
96.
Oh, Joe, you're just getting started, my man. You're a young cat, man. You're like me.
Yeah, well, I've got most of my hair, Zander.
Yeah, your hair is looking good, my friend. All right, brother. I'll catch up with you next week. All right. Merry Christmas to you, Joe.
Merry Christmas to you. Take it easy.
All right, man. See you. Good stuff from Joe Whitt. Appreciate him joining the show. All right, everybody. We're going to try No Limit again. And then once No Limit, I don't know if he'll talk or not. Who knows? All right. I got the main man, James Jones. And everybody in the chat, I don't think you're allowed to talk shit on James Jones today. All right. We give him a lot of shit because he's a communist fan, but they beat us today. Kenny Pickett or not, they beat us today. All right. So no bullshit from my main man, James Jones. Let's go to No Limit and see if I got my man's mic. All right. No Limit, you there, brother?
Can you hear me?
I got you,
hear
man.
Me? Yeah.
What's up, man?
That's what I'm talking about. For real, if you really want to make this sweet, add Big, what's his name? Pumper, and add Flexing. Because honestly, they talk a lot of shit in that chat. I swear to God. But yeah, what questions you got for me for my Eagles?
Just what do you think? Man? What do you think? Look, it's the first loss in 11 games. We're almost in uncharted territory. I forgot what it felt like to lose this year. What do you think of the game? What do you think of Kenny Pickett? Where you had on Jalen Hurts, defense, any of it, man? What stood out to you today, top of mind after that loss?
So basically, the biggest thing that stuck out to me, and I know people aren't gonna talk about it, is just Kenny Pickett. And I know everybody knows Kenny Pickett isn't a good quarterback, but he really limits us as an offense. And it's so bad. It's egregious. Like, if you just watch the game, I used to watch him as a Steelers, so I already know. My homies are Steelers fans. They know who Kenny Pickett is.
Yeah.
So that's why I was always saying the moment Kenny Pickett starts for us is the moment this season goes downhill. But I'm just gonna leave that alone because I feel like I'm gonna get mad on here about Kenny Pickett. I'm gonna be honest.
What did you think of the defense? Because I don't want to talk about Kenny Pickett no more. He sucks.
Yeah. The defense, I feel like they played great. At the end of the day, when you get 5 turnovers, your offense has to turn those turnovers into points.
I know.
Because once you keep bringing your defense onto the field, they're going to get gassed. They're not going to be able to give you – people forget we started this game out with, I think, 4 stops back-to-back? And it was already like a 21-7 game.
Dude, it was another scenario where we had like 150 yards. They had like 8 yards. It was the same type of start.
That's what I'm saying. But then the biggest key moment is, sorry to say it again, is when Kenny Pickett threw that pick, which gave the Commanders life.
Mm-hmm.
After that, they got momentum, even with us scoring another touchdown. Imagine if they never threw that pick and if they never got them free 7 points. It would have been a 21-point game, and everybody knows what's going to happen when a team jumps out to a 21-point lead. They rarely ever come back. So, I don't know. And Big Pumper over here thinks Jayden Daniels or something is listen, I'm just going to leave it where I'm going to leave it at. Jalen Hurts, even though I'm not a Jalen Knight, is better than Jayden Daniels. Let's not even start that conversation.
I'm not as impressed with Jayden Daniels as other people are. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I mean, I think he's a good player. I'm not trying to take away from him, but I'm not over here like, this guy is the next face of the league. Like, he's a solid player. Congrats. They got a good, competent quarterback, finally. Let's see what he can do for the next couple of years.
They got a great quarterback. I actually like him as a player, but it's just people have to slow down. I feel like C.J. Stroud started that, like, basically everybody jumping on shit right away.
Yeah,
but you got to let people at least get 1 or 2, 3 years in the league before you start saying, oh, they're a top 5 quarterback stamp, regardless where you put them. Doesn't make sense. But what other questions you have? You said offense, defense.
No, just I was just getting your takeaway, man. I thought it was. I think you had good takeaways. I mean, I feel basically same way you do. By the way, when did you start subscribing to JAKIB? I feel like you're newer.
I think I just actually subscribed probably like 2 weeks ago or maybe a week ago.
I was gonna say, and then you're a member too, right? You membered up.
Yeah, I membered up. I've been watching for about a couple of months though, so don't get me wrong. I just became a member because that's when I really locked in. I'm not even gonna pay to you.
I appreciate you, bro. It's cool of you to support, man. I appreciate it a lot. All right, brother. I got to run. All right, man. I appreciate you joining.
No problem. You have a good one.
Again, I do this after every game if you don't know, so I'd love to talk to you again. Just make sure your mic's on, all right, bro?
Happy holidays, bro.
All right, bro. Merry Christmas. See you, brother. Good stuff there, my man. No limit. Good stuff from him. He's no limit in the chat. I'm going to James Jones, and then I got a celebrity guest appearance at the end from Akbar, who is, it looks like my man Akbar has relocated. He's back in the light. You can see him. Does he got the SIG? The SIG is gone. What happened to the SIG? I don't know what happened to the SIG. We'll see. Let's get to James Jones. He's got the SIGs for us. James Jones, you got the win today. I can't chirp you, James. You got the win.
Yeah, it's cold as shit, too.
Are you outside right now? It's like 20.
Yeah, I went to the game.
How was it?
Oh, it was fucking crazy, bro.
It was a great game to be at, dude. There was so much happening in that football game.
Dude, that game was dog shit on all sides for both teams, bro. Like, I shit you not. It was a straight NFC slugfest.
Yep.
It was cold as fuck. I'm on the side of the road right now because we're driving back to Richmond now and shit. So it's like, fuck, man. Like,
was that your first game of the year?
No, I went to the other ones and shit like that. I went to I didn't get to make it to the Pittsburgh game and shit, but I made it to all the other ones.
So are you going to be talking a lot of crap in the chat this week?
No, I'm actually going to give y'all props because y'all are a good team. I hate to say it, y'all are good. Like, we're going to be going at it for the next 3 years as it goes. If Jerry don't get a GM, and like, it was something today, dude. I learned a lot from both teams today, dude. Definitely that motherfucker Barkley. John's better fire that GM. For real, dude, because he's a fucking idiot.
Hey, you guys bottled up Barkley pretty good, man. I mean, I know he had that one big
man,
run.
that first quarter, he scared me, Xander. 109 when I was writing it down on the stat sheet, bro. I was like, man, what the fuck is this?
He had 109 in the first quarter. I'm like, all right.
The fourth quarter, I love that stat. The fourth quarter, that motherfucker, what was it, 40 yards? But still, dude, like, Quinn has got to fix that shit.
All right, how cold is that finger that you got holding on to your cigarette?
Oh, my God, it's very cold. That's why I tossed that.
You just dropped your cigarette. All right, man. You got any shit you want to talk to the people in the chat? You've earned it. Today's the day to do it.
No, y'all are good. We're going to hash it up all week and shit. I'm going to get my ass back to Richmond and shit.
I see Twiz already got. Look, Twiz already has his red.
Yeah, Twiz, respect, Twiz, respect, bro.
All right, Dave, appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, y'all. Y'all be good. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, man. Appreciate you joining. Good stuff there from my main man, James Jones. That's cool, man. He's been a supporter for a long time at JAKIB. Our resident Commander fan, our resident Redskin fan. So we appreciate him doing it. I got one more. Here we go. Akbar the Star is in the building. There he is. What's up, brother?
Yes, Zo.
There you
yes,
go. I
Zo.
can hear you now. I can see you, brother. Everything is working now. That was a catastrophe.
My man,
your first
my
setup,
man Zane. Yo, my day was, I had a long ass day, dog. Like a real long day. I got up
You
like,
sound like you booted up a little bit. You little yeah. I hear it.
I got up like 5 o'clock this morning. I cut my hair. I cleaned my bathroom top to bottom, spotless. I was doing laundry. I worked out, and then the game started. I had to go get some cigarettes because I knew that I was going to need them by the post game show. So then I lay down. I watched the game. It's 14-0. I fall asleep, and then Pickett in the game. But I still got a take. My take is that I don't understand how the defense let 30 with Vic Fangio, my guy, Don Fangio. How did you let Washington condoms get 35 points? How? How was that?
Because Kenny Pickett's ass, dude. They had 5 takeaways.
Me and you established that like 5 games ago when he threw that one pass. We both said he was trash. We established that 5 weeks ago.
For years, man. They told me in the draft process he was wearing a glove on his hand to throw. I said, I ain't taking that guy.
Nizzle. Like, well, huh? Kenny Pickett. Like, wow. Like, so then I seen when I woke up, Smith, he had dropped the pass. That was just like the pass that Barkley dropped when they played the Falcons. It was just like that. Like that was the one that lost the game. I'm not used to seeing that in him. But my worry now, like I had no worries for the Super Bowl at all. I had no worries. But my worry now is with people scoring 35 points. Like Washington at that. Like I understand. Okay,
I hear you, but I think it's
dog,
an outlier game, dude.
Real quick, Zan. I hear what you're saying about how Kenny sucked, but we already had 14-21 points by then.
We had 7.
Wait a minute. What?
Listen, this is why it feels jaded. We had 7, but Kenny came in the red zone. And then he had 20 yards. He got the 20 yards and got a touchdown. That was 14. Then we got the ball back, and Saquon Barkley had a 68-yard touchdown. Then it was 21-7. So we really had 7 points when Kenny came in. Now, granted, he did, he didn't get credit for Saquon going 68 yards, but he did get in the end zone on the drive in the red zone.
That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. So,
Dude, we had 5 takeaways on defense. Like, I get why you're like, we gave up too many points, but they had 5 takeaways, dude. Our offense got a field goal out of it. You're telling me if I told you before the game our defense is going to have 5 takeaways in this game, you'd have said the Commanders are going to score 10 points. They scored 35 because our Kenny Pickett can't move the ball.
I would have thought that we would have won 50-7.
Yeah, me too. I would have thought we had an M. Reyes score, 52-3.
Real shit. Like what M. Reyes said earlier, I'm not gonna call it a quality loss, but I'm gonna say that it's a loss to I ain't gonna say wake up because it was already woke, but I'm gonna say that it's gonna it's gotta give them it's gotta give them some clarity. This law's gotta give them some clarity. All right, like we'll for and like you were saying, you've been saying this for like 2 weeks, I think. You were saying that you don't give a shit about the first seed, and I'm with you on there because we're good on the road. You know what I'm saying? So I don't give a fuck about the first seed. Like the first seed would be cool, but I don't give a fuck really because we good on the road. But the 35 points but then you say Kenny Pickett, so I'm kind of like, I don't know what to say. Like we need Jalen. We need Jalen. Am I saying this about bum juice? Am I saying we need bum juice?
Yeah.
We need bum juice.
I'll tell you why, Akbar. It's very simple. Jalen Hurts moves the chains, and Jalen Hurts manages the clock. So when you have a number one defense or a defense that's competent enough, and then a quarterback that can keep his offense on the field, you have a deadly combination. Part of the reason that the defense is number one overall is because of Jalen Hurts. Look at our time of possession every single week with Jalen Hurts. Today, we couldn't control the clock for shit. We kept giving them the ball back every single time they gave it to us. Jalen Hurts has a weird, uncanny ability to move the chains and stay on the field. That's what it is. I'm telling you.
Damn, man, I'm about to say it, dog. I'm about to say it.
All right, hit me with it.
Jalen Hurts is good, man.
He's definitely good. Nobody should doubt that he's good. He's a good player. Whether you think he's great or not is fine, but he's a good player for sure.
We seen it. Brian Plumper, man. You gotta cut it the fuck out, dog. Like for real, man. Brian Plumper. You know what I mean? That's like a porn star name, I think. You know what I'm saying? Brian Plumper. I think that
I think somebody else said that. I don't know. I think it's just a fake name and a fake picture, but he's the man.
Nah, I seen something on YouTube where somebody said that
I've seen that too. I've seen that. I'm saying the guy in the chat is just using it as an hobby. But
yeah. But that guy, man, like he been ripping Jalen Hurts for about, I'm gonna say 6 to 7 months, and he been coming up with some really good shit. Like his pen game vicious. Brian Plumper, your pen game is all of that. But as far as like, are you an Eagles fan, Brian Plumper? Like, are you what kind of fan are you? Like, like when it's all said and done, and the Eagles win the Super Bowl, what are you going to say about Jalen Hurts? What are you going to say about the Eagles? Are you going to be happy, or are you
going to get there first? Though you understand that, right?
I'm feeling like that. I was feeling already there for about 2 weeks until
I know. I can tell. You sent me a message, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, boy, he's pissed at Sills. He putting the cart before the horse, though. We got to win. If we get bounced in round one, you're gonna come back and say, "Damn, Sills was right."
I will say that too. Like, I don't got no problem with being wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I will say, yo,
yeah,
I was fucking wrong. But I would hate to come back and make a video telling fucking Fred Flint Sileo that he was fucking right this season. Like, goddamn, like, come on, man. Like, but like you said, like the whole thing. We can't say that we can't say that Jalen Hurts is the caboose. We can't say that.
I agree.
Jalen Hurts is the fucking catalyst of the whole guy. He made the whole shit run. As you just put out, he even puts up the defense. He even makes the defense go. So fuck all that throwing 4,500 yards and 50 fucking touchdowns with 2 interceptions. Fuck all that shit. Jalen Hurts is that guy, man. Like, I ain't saying, like you said, like I ain't saying he's a super pass thrower or nothing like that. But the motherfucker is good, man. He's good. And we 12-3. Only reason why we 12-3 is because he wasn't in the fucking game. So we gotta cut this narrative. Like, Bull is good, man. Bull is really good. He's really good. And
so you went from bum juice to praise. Boy, he turned your ass around.
He turned me all the way around, man. Like
he got you dancing like you in a ballet, bro.
Nizzo, it ain't I ain't doing all that. No, I ain't doing all that. I ain't dancing, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just keeping it real. Like, the Bull is really good. Like, you seen Kenny, we talked about this. I don't remember what game it was, but Kenny Pickett came in, he threw a pass, and me and you, we drowned him. We drowned him, and he ain't come back up till today. And
I've been drowning him all the time. I call myself the biggest Kenny Pickett hater in the game. I do not like Kenny Pickett.
That's funny. You don't like why you don't like you?
I don't. Well, I'll tell you why. Because, and this is really what it boils down to. When you're a quarterback in the NFL, you are the elitist of the elite. Think about how many people play football. Think about how many kids grow up playing football. Think about how many players play in college and high school and then in the pros and then people on practice squads. You're talking about a starting quarterback in the NFL. You are talking about the elite of the elite of the elite football players. And what do you need to throw a ball in the NFL? You need to have a hand that can throw, that can hold the ball. He needs a glove to hold the ball. Like, I have a hard time believing that one of the elite players in the world needs a glove to throw the fucking ball. I think that's crazy. I really do. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I would not. He would not be the guy I would ever pick to lead my franchise. 2 gloves.
Yo, I hope he hears this. I hope he hears this.
I will say I met him as a person. He's a good dude. But from a football perspective, I don't want him.
From a football perspective, I hope Howie heard. I hope Jeffrey heard this. I hope everybody heard this, because that was classic. Your caption of Kenny Pickett was funnier than the motherfucker. Like, that was some funny. That was good shit right there, Zane. That was crazy. What's up with this LL Cool Zane shit? Like, you've been rocking Kangos like a motherfucker lately. Like, you on some LL Cool Zane shit. You know, LL Cool. Have you ever heard of LL Cool J Zane?
Yes, I have. I know LL Cool J. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
who's the other guy in the Who's the other guy in the movie that wore a Kango too? That people always say. Is it Nino Brown?
I don't. My dog is named Nino Brown because he's all black. That's why I named him Nino. Literally, like, I'm not joking. My dog is named Nino Brown. He's a half Labrador, half Weimaraner. He's like a designer dog. Like, Nino, come here.
We don't need an appearance from Nino. All right, we're good. I'm good with faded Akbar right now. I don't need an appearance from Nino.
He coming though. Okay. I just wanted him to come. He ain't gonna get up on the table. I don't let him do that, but he did come though. Like, my dog named Nino Brown. He's all black. He's a beautiful fucking dog. This is my fucking guy. But I don't remember. I don't think Nino didn't wear it. He wore his hat like yours. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't a Kango.
I don't know. Yeah, it might not have been a
Kango. It wasn't a Kango.
Yeah, it was different.
I seen that movie like 50. I know that movie like word for word. I know a lot of movies word for word. One of them I love so much is The Godfather. I know that movie word for fucking word. So you got this LL Cool. LL Cool J shit going on. But I like it though, homie. How many of them Jones you got? I seen you rock a black one. You rock the green one.
I got a new green one. This was supposed to be my victory one, but they didn't win, bro. They didn't win. This is my victory one, but they didn't win.
Man.
So I got to shelf that for the week.
All right. Well, we'll see it next week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're rocking next week. But it don't even matter if Kenny Pickett.
Look at
Kenny
Pumper.
Pickett,
This is Pumper's response. He says, "Well, damn, Zander, give Jalen Hurts the MVP right now.
Give him what?
Give him the MVP right now."
Come on, man. He do too much. Pump be doing too much, man. Like, we gotta admit that this dude is good, and he is the engine that makes this whole team fucking work. They fell apart is when Kenny Pickett came in. 35 points, dog. Like 35 fucking points. I've been so fucking enamored and so like, you know, in another zone and confidence. Like I just didn't believe that nobody could score more than 20 points on the Eagles. Like, I just never thought it would happen. But then you see Kenny Pickett come in. I mean that thing got me worried about the Super Bowl now. Like, if they can put up 35 points, but at the same time, I think I heard you say earlier that or one of the guests said something about how there will be more they'll be better with a game plan for Kenny Pickett coming into the game, because you know that was like weird, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh shit, Jalen Hurts is out. Kenny, little hand glove Kenny, go in there, and he's like, you know, like, so I don't know what to say right now. Bull got a concussion, so they usually take 2 weeks for. I haven't seen somebody come in. Have you seen anybody come in 1 week after a concussion this season?
John talked about that a little bit. There's been a couple guys that have been able to do it, but for the most part, it's taken longer than a week right now.
And then on top of that, they probably said, fuck it, no, you're not going in. He probably was cool to go in, but it was like, we don't need this game like that. Fuck the Commanders. The fuck. I don't even call them the Commanders. I call them the Redskins. But they probably said, fuck it, nah, don't worry. They wanted to win this game, but in my opinion, they needed to lose a game before the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it for that reason. 13 straight wins going into the playoffs, that's unnecessary pressure.
For real. And then once you get to the playoffs, you can't lose. So at least, you know what I'm saying, we lost the game before the playoffs. And I think if Jalen Hurts is ready to go and everybody else is ready to go. I also heard CJ got kicked out of the game for saying an N-word. Is that true?
I don't think it was that. I thought it was. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been on social, so maybe. Is that what I have a hard time believing that would be something they would kick him out of the game for.
I think that would be stupid, because the whole league is full of N-words. So of course they're going to be calling each other that. You know what I mean? Like, yo,
the league is what, 80% black, probably 85% black.
So how you gonna kick a dude out?
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true.
How you gonna kick a nigga out for calling a nigga? Like, that shit don't make no sense.
I don't know, but you're getting into a territory that I don't want to get into. All right,
I know.
I gotta run. I appreciate you joining, bro.
All right, homie. I'll see you next week, man. Sorry for the fuck
You're
up.
good, man. I'm happy you got through your thing. Merry Christmas to you, bro.
Likewise.
All right, see you, dude. Good stuff there from Akbar. Appreciate everybody today. A lot of fun. Brian Pumper says, well, damn, Zander, give Jalen the Hurts the MVP right now. I ain't mad at it. I don't think he's the MVP of the league, but I do think he's damn good. Pump, I think you know. Pump, I'm no Jalen Knight, Pump, and you know this, Pump. Don't lie. Pumper, don't lie to yourself and the chat, all right? You know I call a spade, okay, Pump? You gotta be like, all right, I gotta come up with something. I gotta figure something. I mean, Jalen Hurts is just kind of quiet and everybody. And then today you lose Jalen Hurts, and Kenny Flickett can't move the ball for shit. There you go, Pump. I like that a little better. He says we're all Zanderites. Pump, you're the man, bro. You're the man. Pumper is becoming a celebrity in the chat. That's what you guys don't understand. Pumper is becoming a celebrity in the chat. Every time Jalen makes a pass, you know what people say? Pumper. That's the Sileo effect, Brian. That's the Sileo effect. Sileo says, as long as they're talking, as long as my name's in their mouth, I'm good. Pumper's a funny guy. They hate me because they ain't me. All right, guys. Appreciate you all for doing it today, man. A lot of fun. Appreciate Akbar joining. Appreciate No Limit. Great getting you on, brother. Joe Whip joined in. We had Bob Brown at the top. We had D.O. Appreciate you, bro. O-Line Guru we had on. Who else did we have on today? Anton was on. Who else did we have on today? Who started this? Oh, Abe. We had Abe on. A lot of good people on there. I love talking to you guys. So it's a lot of fun to do it. It'll be Christmas week this week. So we'll have a little bit of a different holiday schedule this week. Probably not going to be as much content going on. Obviously, definitely not on Christmas. Definitely no content on Christmas, but we'll have some good stuff. I'll be doing some giveaways. I got the Saquon jersey to give away. I got some of those. I got those starter jackets. So if you saw my post of the giveaways we did for the veteran, I got 2 more of those starter coats. Got the Princess Diana jacket. Got some sweatshirts. So I appreciate those who became a member today. Willie became a member. Thank you, Willie. We had a couple others become a member too. So get your memberships in. If you support the channel, it means a lot to support us. We appreciate that. That's going to do it, everybody, for the post-game show today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the morning on Birds 365. Thanks, everybody.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an Audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES. Eagles.